Vegeta vs. Beerus. The battle finally takes place. Vegeta, the prince of the Saiyans who saw his planet destroyed by Frieza, the emperor of the universe. Vegeta was killed by Frieza in the past and failed to avenge his race, but the Prince of Saiyans always knew the whole truth. The one who knew death once and has been through all the toughest places is now back. Vegeta prepares himself face to face with the Destroyer. Vegeta wants to put an end to the matter of eliminating planet Vegeta. The planet of the Saiyans had been destroyed years ago by Frieza. For a long time, everyone believed that Frieza was the real villain of everything. But Frieza already knew Beerus the Destroyer. Frieza knew that Beerus was the one who could finish off any other being that showed up. Frieza knew that Beerus possessed the energy of destruction, and any order Beerus made, everyone would obey. Beerus was the one who was considered the Destroyer, and everyone was afraid. Beerus's great and monstrous power was being raised to a greater extent each time. What was Beerus planning on doing all this time? What was Beerus's true ideal? The Great Destroyer knew that at any moment he could wipe out any other being, but Beerus was lazy. He always wanted to let others make his ideals true. The Cold Demon race has always been a destructive race that wanted to conquer planets. Frieza and King Cold, as per their orders, wanted things to happen their way. That's why Beerus ordered the race of Saiyans to be eliminated, because that would bring balance. According to their reasoning, Saiyans could no longer exist because they believed that at any moment Saiyans could want to wipe out each other or destroy all of humanity. That was the thoughts of the Cats of Destruction. Shortly after that, Beerus arrives at Frieza and speaks. "Coldness, you should finish and eliminate everyone now. Your powers should be quite interesting. It would be cool for you to show your true energy. The power of destruction. I want you to now elevate your powers more and more. That will be very interesting. Show me everything you are capable of. I want to see what level you will reach." At that instant, Beerus starts smiling in front of Frieza. Frieza began to reflect. Frieza had been created to be the great destroyer of everything. Frieza was destroying everything he saw ahead. His father King Cold looked at his son Frieza and spoke. "You know we have a rather unusual goal, don't you? You know very well the reality you were brought into and why your objective must be achieved, my son. Finish them all. Let's go. Show your true strength. You are the one who will destroy anyone. Show yourself what you're capable of." At that moment, Frieza began to laugh. Frieza knew that Bardock had already suspected everything that was about to happen and the betrayal and his true goals. At that moment, Frieza started to smile. Until the next day, Frieza destroyed the Saiyan planet. Vegeta was part of Frieza's army. Ever since that day, Vegeta has thought of revenge against Frieza. Vegeta for years trained his power until the moment he was sent to Earth and discovered that there were Saiyans who were more powerful than him. Vegeta was in disbelief when he saw the powers being shown directly by Goku. It was his toughest fight yet. Vegeta did not accept Goku being a low-class Saiyan, and even so, having managed to surpass his powers. Since then, Vegeta started to want to get more and more powerful. But Goku's kindness, as time went by, allowed Vegeta to stop being an evil warrior. Vegeta saw the death of Frieza, and after several events, Vegeta ended up having a relationship with Bulma and fought to protect the Earth for several years, until the moment he became enraged again and wanted to settle accounts with Goku. Time went by and Vegeta accepted at that time that Goku was stronger. But soon after discovering that he had latent powers, he did not accept being left behind Goku. Until the moment when Vegeta faces Beerus, the one he always knew was the true mastermind of destroying his planet. Vegeta didn't know what to do. Vegeta for a certain time was trained by Beerus. At the time, Vegeta was trained by Beerus. He knew that as time went by, he would get stronger and stronger. Now Vegeta is face to face with the God of Destruction. Does Vegeta now have the necessary powers to defeat Beerus? This is what Beerus has been waiting for. Vegeta says, "Beerus the Destroyer! Haha! Now we will put an end to this story." Beerus starts to laugh and says, "Very insightful, Vegeta. This will be perfect." Alright partner, why don't you whack that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos and stay on top of our entire universe of Z Warriors. Let's get back to it. Vegeta charges forward, running towards Beerus. Beerus looks at Vegeta and speaks. "Haha, you mean you got that powerful? Who would imagine a being who for the first time he saw me was scared to death and didn't know where to move could get so far? I'm glad for that, Vegeta. You really do have the blood of a destroyer in your veins. It seems that the determination that Saiyans have is incredible. This is really fascinating." Vegeta initially activates his Ultra Ego and starts trying to land several punches on Beerus. Beerus dodges it several times and tells Vegeta, "Pay close attention. Analyze this a lot. Do you think that only with that power you would be able to defeat a god of destruction?" This turns out to be very funny. Beerus starts landing several blows on Vegeta, causing Vegeta to be thrown into the rubble of planet Beerus. Goku watches and speaks. It gets surreal. It seems that the powers that a god possesses become greater and greater. Whis watches and speaks. Let's not forget that Mr. Beerus ended up training in the room of the gods before entering this celestial war. It seems that Mr. Beerus knew that extremely powerful warriors would appear, so it's no wonder that he had already prepared. But I never imagined that he believed that Mr. Vegeta could cause much trouble. At that moment, Goku says, maybe he wasn't thinking about Vegeta, but he could already imagine that Vegeta would want to have that reckoning before actually entering a war. Whis watches and says, Mr. Beerus, the god, spent a long time thinking about this from the moment he came to Earth. When he fought Lord Goku, he was going to destroy the Earth, but it seemed that something about Lord Goku and the Earthlings caused Lord Beerus's heart to soften. So that's why he's having this fight with Vegeta, because maybe even that wasn't supposed to happen. At that moment, Vegeta starts to have a big advantage over the fight against Beerus. Vegeta says, "Now, you will witness the second stage of my Ultra Ego, Beerus the Destroyer." Beerus starts laughing and says, "Does that mean that you managed to master even that?" At that moment, Vegeta activates his Ikari Ultra Ego form alongside Beerus. Vegeta says, "Get ready now, Beerus. Receive my most powerful blow. Final Flash!" At that moment, a great final flash is thrown at Beerus the Destroyer, and Beerus takes the full blow. Goku watches and says, "This is amazing. Was Vegeta really able to defeat Mr. Beerus?" At that moment, Whis watches and says, "I wouldn't boast so soon, Mr. Goku." At that moment, Beerus appears with an enraged face and says, "You really aren't fighting with all your might. You must have learned that from Goku. Do you really think that using half your strength, you will be able to beat me?" At that moment, great explosions begin to happen on the planet Beerus, and Beerus advances on Vegeta, dragging his face along the ground and throwing him away. Vegeta says, "What? Impossible!" Beerus watches and speaks. "Before I finish you off, I'm going to explain something, Vegeta. Saiyans that you know weren't always those Saiyans that were always just looking to conquer planets. A rebellion against the gods themselves would happen in the past, and one of these beings that King Vegeta himself, his father, knew was under the command of the other Saiyans. This Saiyan was much more powerful than his own father and made him a puppet." Who is Beerus talking about? At that moment, Vegeta watches and says, "What are you talking about?" Whis observes and speaks. So does that mean he's going to reveal everything? Beerus says, "Now you will know and know the real story of the true Supreme God Saiyan. That God who was from another universe, and he alone ended up becoming the supremacy of Universe 7. Goku and Vegeta discover that the true Supreme Saiyan God is to blame for the death of all Saiyans. Beerus finally reveals the whole truth. What is happening? Goku was watching Vegeta and Beerus fight. The reckoning was being shown. Beerus the Destroyer finally reveals his true power. Beerus the Destroyer ends up telling about everything that happened before all the battles between the most powerful warriors, those who had the energy to destroy any other being. True strength was being shown. Beerus fighting Vegeta in his Ultra Ego Ikari form hadn't revealed all of his power yet, but he knew Vegeta was hiding his strength so that the God of Destruction couldn't defeat him at that moment. An enraged Beerus says, "Who do you think I am, Vegeta? Do you think that only with these mediocre blows you will be able to defeat me? I am sure this transformation of yours is not your greatest power. Do you want a reckoning? Do you want to fight me using only that mediocre power?" All this without knowing the whole truth. I spent a lot of time caring and sacrificing for this universe just to bring it into balance. I don't know what happened during all this time, but after my time on Earth, I think my temperament ended up changing a little. I remember like it was yesterday that Saiyan. That certainly wasn't the Saiyan of my dream. This was in another supremacy. He lived in another reality of destruction. His ideals were always higher than even the Mother of Angels. She really is from another supremacy. Vegeta watches and speaks. "Who are you talking about? My father has always been the king of the Saiyan planet named after me. He was the founder of the entire Saiyan race. There is no other way to exist." At that moment, Beerus observes and speaks. "Vegeta, this is what you always believed as a child, but you are wrong. Everything was a failure. At that time, none of the Saiyans knew about other universes. They just believed in the existence of galaxies and conquests of other planets that they had already seen. However, with the gods of destruction, it was always different. The responsibilities we had to carry involved taking care of all universes and ensuring balance. Deaths were necessary for there to be peace in the future. Can you understand this? From the universes that were erased by Zeno before the destruction of the Saiyan planet. Millennia ago, we already knew about the supremacy of the Supreme Saiyan God, Banzarot. I think you must have known him by now." At that moment, Goku watches and speaks. "Banzarot is that red-haired Saiyan who ended up beside the purple-haired warrior sending us to the galaxy of the bloody angel Shiva. Do they have anything to do with the elimination of the non-Saiyan planet? How is this possible? What is Mr. Beerus trying to say?" Meanwhile, on Earth in Universe 7, the battles were getting more and more intense. Banzarot was fighting Broly alongside Gohan, who had seemingly defeated Zaki with just one blow. Until that moment, Zaki was still thrown into the rubble after Gohan, with only one hit, became enraged when he saw Piccolo's death and launched a blow directly at Zaki. Something terrible was still happening in the midst of this entire battle because Gohan knew that the worst could happen in that fight. Banzarot kept laughing, and Broly, even with the berserker instinct, his energy was getting worn out. Broly speaks. "This guy really is tough. Haha, it's getting interesting." Banzarot says, "Now I'm going to fight seriously with you, mortal Saiyan. Hahaha. As you may have noticed, all Saiyans have transformations that manage to get stronger with them, right? I've been here guarding my power because I thought it wouldn't be necessary to use it against you. But I realize that fighting many Saiyans in this universe is complicated." Because just like you who are Saiyans and have transformations, I as a Saiyan God also have extremely powerful abilities. So now it's time to show you my devastation transformation. Gohan and Broly, after hearing Banzarot's words, observe the energy of devastation. Gohan says, "What? Could this guy still get more powerful? It's not possible. Damn it, looks like the nightmare isn't over yet." At that moment, Banzarot begins to perform his transformation and the whole ground begins to shake. Banzarot says, "Ha ha ha ha, now you will know my true power and you will understand why I am considered as the true Supreme Saiyan God." Banzarot increases his strength more and more and his hair begins to grow, looking like the hair of a Super Saiyan 3 but red in color. Banzarot with his energy is taken every time he starts talking. "I haven't used this transformation in a long time, and it's amazing. I've always waited for this moment. Now I will be able to raise my strength more and more. I've been waiting for this moment for a long time. I looked for beings who were worthy of being killed by this transformation." Gohan and Broly are watching. Gohan says, "And? Looks like the real second round starts now. Get ready, Broly. Let's take care of this guy." Planet Beerus. Beerus starts talking about Banzarot. Banzarot is the god of destruction of Universe 18. At this time, there was no intrigue among the gods. The gods of all universes participated in celestial meetings alongside the Great Priest and Zeno-sama's guards. Flashback to the past celestial gathering. Beerus the Destroyer was beside Banzarot in conversation with the High Priest. The High Priest says, "To what do I owe the presence of all of you here?" At that moment, Banzarot was smiling and said, "Good. Grand Priest, as a measure to bring balance between the universes, we know that my race of Saiyans, if not controlled, can be a great danger, as there are already too many Saiyans in the universes. I suggest that in order to maintain balance, we destroy the Saiyans of Universe 7, since they are weaker than the Saiyans from Universe 18. I imagine that the king of the Saiyan planet of Universe 7 is very weak. He is totally manipulated by other emperors. He cannot accomplish anything else. This Saiyan cannot raise any power and serves only as a doormat of destruction. You know very well. What do we need to do to be able to emerge victorious in any other type of battle? It would be much more interesting if only Saiyans existed in my universe, so we could concentrate the true power of the strongest race. Universe 6 Saiyans could ally with me." Daishinkan just watches. Banzarot concludes, "Don't you agree with me? It would be a great waste if we stopped for all this time to think about what could happen when the Saiyans of Universe 7 have no control and end up just becoming primates with the intention of destruction. If we analyze it well to bring a balance, a race so weak that it only wants to conquer planets and eliminate all other beings can one day become a threat." Beerus eliminated his next breed of cats of destruction, so I don't see any sense in that not happening. Beerus gets angry at hearing the words Banzarot says. "We must each take care of our own universe. Don't remind me that the other gods of destruction have the right to deduce what can happen to each universe for personal interests. Each one of us here must carry out our tasks." At that moment, Beerus looks at Banzarot and speaks. "You've got to be kidding me. I will never accept the ideals and decisions you are making. Are you trying to settle this one-on-one? You will pay, and I will finish you here and now. Then we'll decide who is right and who is wrong in this situation." At that moment, Banzarot observes and speaks. "A god as inferior as you, believing that he would be able to defeat the Supreme Saiyan God. Ha 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 ha. This is a joke. I'm sorry, but I can't stop laughing, Beerus. Ha 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 ha." Grand Priest, please grant me a battle against Beerus. This way we will decide the winner. And the winner will be able to do whatever he wants with the race of Saiyans from Universe 7. At that moment, the High Priest looks on. Beerus says, "I accept the challenge." At that moment, a battlefield was formed. Beerus would fight Banzarot, the Supreme Saiyan God. Back to current times. Goku and Vegeta are watching. Whis says, "He really decided to tell the truth." Goku watches and speaks. So the culprit really isn't Mr. Beerus. At that moment, a large explosion light years away takes place. Gohan and Broly on the ground had been thrown away by Banzarot. Banzarot's ki was extremely high. Banzarot in a few had released his energy of devastation to the rubble of the land. A large bubble begins to rise from the rubble and a voice emerges. "Haha, damn, it looks like I took a beating. That punch was the hardest punch I've ever taken. Haha. I even ended up sleeping because of it. It seems that now I managed to take a nap. This blow, I confess, was very strong. I thought I was going to die for an instant." The impossible happens. Zaki, the Saiyan hybrid god, stands up. Transformed Banzarot says, "Looks like now it's time for round 2, Zaki. Let's turn these two into cosmic dust." Zaki says, "Thanks. It looks like you saved me, Banzarot. I dropped my guard and that brat attacked me. Ha! It's been a while since I received such a strong blow since I fought Kai." Planet Beerus. Goku watches and speaks. "Damn it, I need to go there." Vegeta keeps reflecting everything Beerus says. Vegeta watching and says, "So does that mean Beerus the Destroyer was defeated by Banzarot?" Vegeta explodes in fury. "It means that my entire race was eliminated even on the whim of another Saiyan from another universe." Vegeta explodes in fury. Beerus remains silent. Whis says, "It seems that now the overcoming of the Ultra Ego will begin." Goku and Vegeta discover the true mastermind of the elimination of the Saiyans. They've been fooled all this time. True power was being shown. Banzarot finally showed his real strength. It seems that there are countless mysteries to be revealed behind the true legendary Saiyan God. Beerus reveals about his battle against Banzarot, and Banzarot reveals all his power. At that moment, a small flashback of Beerus fighting Banzarot. All the gods of destruction were fascinated by what they saw. Beerus begins to raise the god powers, causing the entire arena to shake. Champa watched with a smiling face. Champa says, "They will never be able to defeat a cat of destruction. Beerus's power is light years greater than Banzarot's. If Beerus uses his Hakai form, this battle will be over in the blink of an eye." Beerus will fight Banzarot. Banzarot prepares to show his true powers to the Destroyer. Goku and Vegeta were watching and listening to everything Beerus was saying. Vegeta was ceasing the attack against Beerus the Destroyer, but he still had the energy to continue fighting Beerus. But still, Beerus had Hakai pointed at his hand, making everyone hear what he had to say. At that moment, Beerus speaks. "You can try to attack me again, but I believe that's actually not what you want, right? That's why I've been here on the planet of destruction waiting for you, because the moment I go to the battlefield, I don't know if I'll come out alive. You need to know the truth." At that moment, Vegeta was watching everything that Beerus was saying. Beerus concludes. Back to the flashback. Beerus faces Banzarot and smiling, he says, "Haha, you won't be able to defeat me. I am from the warrior family of the Cats of Destruction. Even though you are a Saiyan Supreme, not even the Saiyan from Universe 7 of the prophecy was able to defeat me. So you don't take chances with it." Banzarot starts laughing on the battlefield, preparing to attack Beerus. Banzarot, smiling, says, Ha ha ha. I don't care about the Saiyan from the prophecy of Universe 7. Now you'll meet the Saiyan from your dream, Beerus. Or rather, from your biggest nightmare. Ha ha ha. Let's start. At that moment, Banzarot goes for Beerus. Beerus, the cat of destruction, begins to dodge and launch several blows on Banzarot. The battle keeps going on and unprecedented fighting takes place. Beerus was showing a great performance in the fight against Banzarot, but at that moment we saw that Banzarot looked like he was hiding his game. Beerus initially already activated his energy of destruction. Banzarot used his devastation transformation. The two began to fight each other frantically until the moment when Beerus was getting the upper hand in the fight against Banzarot. Even the instant Beerus's body began to shudder, Beerus says, "What's going on with my body? It's not possible. It doesn't make any sense. I can't move. It feels like all my bones have been paralyzed. What did this bastard do to my body?" Banzarot starts punching Beerus, who for some reason had his body paralyzed. Banzarot starts to laugh and says, "Ha ha ha, goodbye. This is the moment of your defeat, Beerus the Destroyer. Ha 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 ha." Beerus is knocked out of the arena. The High Priest had declared Banzarot victorious, but Beerus didn't understand why he lost. Beerus says, "Was that really his power, or was there some kind of trickery? I can't understand this." At that moment, Beerus was analyzing everything. As time went by, Beerus analyzed everything when looking at Banzarot, the image of Zaki appeared. Back to current times, Beerus says, "It felt like everything had been controlled by him. It looked like Zaki was helping Banzarot." At that moment, Vegeta says, "Then, was it really that? I cannot understand." Vegeta kneels on the ground and says, "Is that the guy I had fought with us to blame for all this? He ended up causing all that destruction." At that moment, Vegeta runs in front of Beerus and says, "How dare you lose to a guy like that? You really were the real culprit." A huge explosion happens on the planet Beerus and Vegeta's body falls to the ground. Beerus says, "It seems that Vegeta's power is still being controlled by emotions, but his ultra ego has risen higher and higher, and that's enough. As soon as he wakes up, his emerging power will awaken. Well done, Vegeta. You have surpassed all your limits. A war awaits you." At least he discovered the truth. Now I'm ready to enter the battlefield. It's time to go see my brothers and probably finish them off too. Take care, Vegeta. As soon as you wake up, I'll see you in the Celestial War. Goku, let's go to Earth. Goku watches and speaks. "Mr. Beerus, I never had a great relationship with my race. In fact, since I was little, I was raised on Earth by my grandfather, Son Gohan. Vegeta and I had several disagreements in the past, but I understand that now everything has changed for him. In the past, even he didn't care about his own race, but now his ways have changed. Now let's save our friends." At that moment, Goku begins to increase his energy more and more and activates his Infinite Saiyan form. Beerus watches and speaks. "Do you mean that all that time you entered battles, I managed to achieve this transformation? Surely this has to do with the training of the High Priest." Goku looks at Beerus and says, "That's not all, Mr. Beerus. There is one more power that I've been keeping and I intend to arrive on the battlefield with it." Beerus looks at Goku and says, "What are you talking about?" Goku says, "The essence of Yamoshi, the first Saiyan God, I learned from the dragon god Zephyr." Beerus, with a straight face, says, "Zephyr? How do you know this guy? He fought in the past Celestial War and is the brother of the strongest dragon god. I don't know if he is someone I should trust." At that instant, Goku says, "Observe, Mr. Beerus, my stronger transformation." At that moment, Yamoshi's image begins to appear over Goku's front. An image of the galaxy begins to emerge and Goku's body begins to receive energy from the constellations. Whis starts watching and says, "What an incredible power, Sir Goku. But what will this entail for your body in the future?" His energy increases more and more and combines the power of infinite Ultra Instinct alongside the power of Super Saiyan. But now it's like you're gathering the power of a spirit bomb from the universe and consuming all that power for your body. Are you sure you can control all that power? At that moment, Beerus observes and speaks. "What are you doing, Goku?" The entire planet Beerus begins to shake and Vegeta remains unconscious. Goku's body begins to change. His skin begins to turn blue, the color of a dark sky full of stars. His eyes turn white. His infinite Saiyan hair continues. Goku says, "This is my most powerful transformation, the infinite Saiyan Omni." Beerus says, "Haha. This can only be madness. What level does this Goku want to reach?" Beerus starts to think. "I hope you know what you're doing. Daishinkan may not have told you the risk of using this type of transformation. Everyone who used the Omni form ended up losing control and going crazy, with the idea of being heroes and being able to save everyone. They ended up destroying everything and becoming the greatest villains. Watch out, son Goku." Goku says, "With that power, I'm sure they'll be able to finish off those two. It seems that everything that happened was a bit complicated. But now that we know the truth, we can't let it all stay like this. Banzarot, this time I won't let my guard down for you and Zaki anymore. I don't care if you are a god of destruction from the past or if you are on the side of the Saiyan hybrid. I am Son Goku, the mortal of Universe 7 who wants to overcome his limits more and more. I'm excited. We'll settle the score once and for all." Goku increases his power more and more with his new transformation and teleports from the planet of destruction alongside Beerus, straight to Earth. Gohan and Broly were having a hard time fighting Banzarot and Zaki together. Gohan says, "Damn, how are you still alive? I was so sure I was done with you." Broly watches and speaks. "These guys are more complicated than I thought. I'll have to use my ultimate resource." Banzarot, in his form of devastation, says, "Ha ha ha ha, you two make me laugh. Until you are resisting well. Just thinking that everything indicated that you would not even be able to stand up after receiving my blows. I confess that I am surprised by this, but I don't have time to play with you anymore. That will be the end of everything. Get ready." Banzarot creates a large sphere of energy to directly eliminate Gohan and Broly. At that moment, everyone's body starts to shudder. Gohan and Broly speak. "What is that? What devastating energy is this? At the same time, it's pure." Gohan smiles and says, "Haha, I know that energy." Banzarot beside Zaki stops the attack and says, "It's not possible. That guy again? Did he manage to escape Shiva?" In another location on Earth, Goku and Beerus arrive. Goku says, "It's time to start putting an end to these guys, Mr. Beerus, haha." Moments ago, Beerus and Goku appeared to help Gohan and Broly. Goku returns to Earth alongside Beerus. Beerus speaks. "Looks like we got here just in time, Goku. Vegeta will arrive soon and we will be able to resolve this situation. But maybe when Vegeta gets here, it might be too late. It seems that Gohan will increase his powers even more, but he still can't have 100% control of them. You Saiyans are very curious about your transformations. I remember until today when everyone thought that the giant ape transformation was the limit of your power." Goku starts laughing and says, "We have no limits to our powers, Sir Beerus." Beerus watches and speaks. "Haha, very interesting. These guys are getting on my nerves. I've held back until now. They are causing the most destruction in my universe. The only one authorized to destroy things here is me. Maybe it's time we eliminate these two Supreme Saiyans soon, because they can become an even bigger threat. I carry my fury to release on Banzarot since that day. I will never accept that this guy dominates any of my territory. You will pay for everything you've done. I think it's time we made them back off. After that, I will deal with my race. It won't do any good for you to attack so many cats of destruction if you don't go to the boss who is commanding this whole attack. Surely my father will want to end them all. At that moment, Beerus goes directly with Goku to the place where Banzarot was fighting Gohan and Broly. At that moment, Gohan and Broly were holding the battle, receiving attacks from Zaki, who had shown to have extremely high powers. Zaki says, "You've managed to get a lot stronger, haven't you, son Gohan? Haha, that blow you hit me hurt a lot. Knowing this, now I will be very careful and show the true Saiyan and Makaioshin hybrid essence to you. It seems that this power combined with your rage gets higher and higher, but you won't have much chance to do anything." Impressed, Gohan watches and says, "Is this guy still alive? How is this possible? I was sure that the blow I landed on him was enough to finish defeating him, but now inexplicably he came back and apparently much stronger than before. Looks like he got his powers back. I always knew that this transformation of mine was a double-edged sword. After the second beast form is brought out, if the enemy is not defeated in this blow, the end is practically declared. Fighting Banzarot and this guy gets harder. It seems that something very similar to Mr. Piccolo is happening to me. If this continues, I will end up losing all my energy. I do not know what else to do. I need to pay close attention to this." In that instant, we can directly see that Gohan ends up increasing his powers more and more and says, "This will be all or nothing." The moment Gohan goes to attack Banzarot and Zaki, Zaki was creating a large sphere of dark energy to eliminate Gohan and Broly. At that moment, a great light appears on the battlefield. A laugh arises. "Haha, phew, that was close, Sir Beerus. I'm excited. Haven't seen these guys in a while." Goku looks at the battlefield and sees that everything is completely destroyed. Goku says, "You see, the fighting must have been very strong here. Practically this entire area of land is destroyed." Beerus says, "I think you're pretty tired, son Goku. Wait a bit. Now we're going to resolve this situation with these two assholes. I have the right to eliminate these guys. Let us sort this out while you recover your energies. How about that?" At that moment, Gohan smiles and says, "Mr. Beerus, Dad, haha, you made it back, Dad. That's perfect. Wait, where's Vegeta?" Banzarot observes and speaks. "How is this guy back?" Goku, without thinking twice, activates his Omni Infinity form and charges directly at Zaki. Goku says, "I've had a hard time, but then I've had enough of you too." Banzarot says, "What? Impossible. What kind of transformation is this?" Banzarot and everyone was impressed with Goku's transformation. Banzarot says, "How did this mortal reach this level? Not even I, who am the Supreme Saiyan God, was able to reach Omni form." Banzarot has a short flashback to before the Celestial War when Zakai and Daishinkan were united. Banzarot stood out with everyone, and for the first time he had seen Zeno-sama raising his powers more and more and showing Omni power. Banzarot says, "This is amazing. Will I ever be able to reach this transformation?" Banzarot trained for several moments until he achieved his devastation transformation. After a while, it began to reach its Omni form, but over time its head began to corrode. Until the moment when Banzarot went mad and created his Saiyan reign in Universe 18. Banzarot was never able to activate this transformation again. Back to current times, Banzarot says, How did this guy manage to perform this form and still be aware of everything he's doing? This is impossible. Son Goku, you bastard. I will delete you. Goku and Beerus start fighting Zaki and Banzarot. Banzarot advances to attack Goku, but at that moment, Beerus appears in front of him and says, "You will fight with me, Banzarot. I have matters to settle with you." Goku appears in front of Zaki and says, "Looks like it's left for you now." Goku started to land several blows on Zaki. Zaki says, "How did this guy get so strong? I cannot understand. When he and Vegeta fell into our trap, the two were barely able to stay on their feet." At that instant, Goku says, "You know, I think that if you were so much stronger than me and Vegeta, what you really should have done was to finish us off. After having fought with the angel Shiva, we raised our power much more, and after we fought against the dragon god of war Zephyr, Zephyr caused us to release the essence of our powers. The power of the legendary heavenly Saiyan God lives in me. Yamoshi is with me." Zaki is impressed and speaks. "What? Impossible. Damn you, take this attack." Just as Zaki goes to attack Goku, Goku teleports and charges towards Zaki. Zaki is knocked back by the pressure of Goku's blow. Beerus the Destroyer increasingly raised his powers over Banzarot and says, "I'm sure you planned some kind of trick in the last battle that decided the fate of the Saiyans. You think I didn't notice? You managed to deceive even the High Priest, but you do not deceive me. Feel the power of my Hakai energy." At that moment, a great explosion of energy takes place. Goku showed his true energy, causing everyone around him to be impressed. Banzarot, with its destruction transformation, says, "Looks like you're back in, Beerus. Didn't you secure yourself with the other defeat you had in the past? I do not want to know about you anymore. So here will be your end. Ha 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 ha. Me? Cheat? I would never do that to someone as inferior as you. I'm already starting to lose patience with you. Your end is near." At that moment, Beerus observes everything that was happening. Beerus started laughing and says, "I seem to remember it like it was yesterday. My defeat never made sense. Did you absorb theirs from someone else, or else Zaki must have helped you?" Banzarot's energy is increasing more and more, but Beerus wasn't caring. He just remembered the fury he felt for what happened in the past. Beerus says, "Anyway, it doesn't matter." At that moment, Zaki started to try to pressure Goku, but Goku was not the same as before. Goku remembered everything that had happened and is training with the dragon Zephyr. Zaki says, "It's not possible. It is not possible. How is this power being emanated over you? It doesn't make any sense. That battle didn't last a day and you came back with that power? Is that why the priestess Zakai told you to be brought to her? Cursed son Goku, take my final blow." In a few moments, Zaki steps forward to try to land a destruction punch on Goku. Goku is enraged and uses the dragon blow with Ultra Instinct, causing half of Zaki's body to be destroyed. Zaki fell to the ground and speaks. "This is not the same mortal who fought with us long ago. Impossible. I didn't even have time to show all my power." Beerus starts to smile and speaks. "That was awesome. I knew you were capable, Goku. This transformation of yours still makes me reflect." At that moment, Beerus starts to attack Banzarot with several blows. Banzarot speaks. "What? Impossible. You got a lot stronger, Beerus. What did you do during that time? You always had a habit of just sleeping your miserable cattle." Beerus responds by smiling. "This time, I decided to conduct training in the room of the gods, just to prepare for this war." At that moment, Goku arrives next to Beerus and speaks. "Banzarot, you're next." A big explosion happens on Earth. A voice comes up. So let's see if it's not the Saiyan who wiped out my entire race. I am the great Vegeta, and I will eliminate your entire existence now. Ikari's alter ego had been activated. Vegeta says, "No way, Kakarot. This guy's mine, and he will pay for everything he did to our race." Beerus appears smiling and speaks. Finally, Vegeta understood what was going on. "Come on, show us your real power." Vegeta had arrived at the battlefield. Vegeta was enraged at having discovered all of Banzarot's atrocities. Banzarot is the real culprit for all the destruction that has occurred on the Saiyan planet. Banzarot, the first Saiyan legendary god who had been sealed away for millennia and was back thanks to the wills of the priestess Zakai. Grand Priest Palace. Daishinkan looks at Zakai and says, "Zakai, it looks like your warriors in Universe 7 are about to be defeated." Enraged Zakai says, "How is it possible? Did Son Goku make it back from the void dimension? Even more alongside Vegeta and Beerus. If it continues like this." Daishinkan observes and speaks. "Even though you've been plotting your revenge for millennia, your gods have weakened over time. Soon, Goku and the others will be victorious." At that moment, Zakai, with a serious expression on her face, says, "I wouldn't boast yet, Daishinkan." The High Priest watches and speaks in his mind. Even though she's apparently at the biggest disadvantage, she still continues to believe in her victory as if she had something hidden. Zakai starts laughing and says, "Ha ha ha, you are still silly as always, Daishinkan. Ha 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 ha." Back to land. Vegeta knew the level of his power and knew where he would go by increasing his strength more and more. Vegeta's power had already become his new Hakai transformation. Vegeta knew that his body was no longer the same. However, he knew that he still had much more to discover about the essence of his powers. After the Dragon God of War Zafir said that Vegeta would be the reincarnation of Yamazaki, an ancient Saiyan god. Vegeta says, "Kakarot has already managed to make the essence of his powers becoming the Omni God, but I still can't raise my energy to the maximum. Cursed Kakarot, when did you reach this level?" Vegeta becomes increasingly enraged and his body begins to suffer from various anomalies. Enraged Vegeta looks at Banzarot and says, "Does this mean that you did all of this? This other one is already down here. It looks like they already dealt with him. I won't let things go the way you want. It will all end here and now." Banzarot starts laughing and says, "I seem to be at a disadvantage. Beerus the Destroyer alongside Goku, and now Vegeta enraged. There's still Gohan and Broly. I think I discredited the Saiyans of this universe too much. Everyone will want to fight me. If I get an attack from all together, it will be the end of me." Goku watches and speaks. "You are at a complete disadvantage. It is better to surrender and let yourself be captured. Or if not, we will have to finish you off." At that instant, Vegeta says, "Don't get involved in this, Kakarot, you worm. I'll take care of this guy myself. This guy is nothing. I am the most powerful Saiyan. No one here will be able to defeat me. I am the great Vegeta." Vegeta strikes the pose to launch a Big Bang attack directly at Banzarot. Banzarot starts to laugh and says, "Ha ha ha, whatever. So I'll have a fight against them all. It will be the only way I can get out of here." At that moment, Vegeta activates his Ultra Ego transformation combined with his power of rage, and he throws Big Bang at Banzarot. Banzarot holds Vegeta's Big Bang. Soon after, Vegeta starts to laugh and says, "This is your damn end." While Banzarot holds off Vegeta's Big Bang, Vegeta creates a big final flash and launches it at Banzarot. Frightened Banzarot says, What? When were you able to increase your power this much? Goku beside Gohan and Beerus started to observe. Gohan says, "Before I was finished, fighting Banzarot and Zaki was being very difficult. When using my Beast Mode 2 form, I ended up getting weakened. I believed I had managed to defeat Zaki, but Banzarot had managed to bring him back. Unfortunately, Mr. Piccolo died." Piccolo's body was sprawled on the floor. Omni Goku looks at Piccolo and says, "I don't know what's happening to me, but whenever I activate this power, I feel like I can accomplish anything." Omni Goku in small instance looks at Piccolo and creates a great celestial aura around Piccolo and says. At that moment, Goku transfers some of his life energy directly to Piccolo. Piccolo opens his eyes and his wounds begin to heal. Impressed Gohan watches and speaks. "What was this? That was really amazing. What kind of technique is this, father? Mr. Piccolo is now back with us. Dad, what you did was fantastic." At that moment, Piccolo was reborn. Goku managed to discover an even greater power at that moment. Goku speaks. "Haha, I don't know how I did it. It is very similar to Mr. Whis' skill. I remember that he managed to revive Frieza even though he was unable to use the Super Dragon Balls. Perhaps it has something to do with the power of Ultra Instinct." Beerus starts looking seriously at Goku. Beerus in his thoughts says, "How did he manage to do this? This technique is a ban directly from the angels. This could lead to many problems for us in the future, for the simple fact that we are breaking the heavenly rules. Like it or not, Goku is a mortal, so he is not authorized to revive people with angelic magic. But ever since Goku appeared on my planet, I felt that his body was different. Hope you don't get out of control, Goku. In case you lose your mind, I'll have to stop you." On the one hand, I can understand that he met the dragons of fear. But unlike Daishinkan and the other gods, I never trusted the dragon race. Dragon energy has nothing to do with celestial energy. What's going on with Goku's body sounds kind of weird. At that moment, Goku began to feel some anomalies in his body. Goku falls to the ground. Piccolo, after opening his eyes, did not understand how he was alive. Gohan hugs Piccolo and speaks. "Mr. Piccolo, you're finally here. You are alive, haha." Piccolo observes and says, "What happened here? This guy in front of me has Goku's energy, but his appearance is totally different. Goku, you saved me. Is everything fine with you?" At that moment, Goku in the Omni form says, "Don't worry, Piccolo. Look around here." At that instant, we can see that Piccolo had increased his strength more and more. Piccolo was showing much greater performance. Piccolo watches and speaks. "Is Vegeta fighting too? What kind of transformation is he showing? Goku and Vegeta's power is incredible." Vegeta looks at Banzarot and says, "I will never forgive you. My entire race ceased to exist because of you. All were killed by a manipulation you actually created." Vegeta threw several blows at Banzarot, causing Banzarot to be thrown away. Banzarot could no longer withstand all the blows he had received from Vegeta. Banzarot says, "I have no choice. I still need to save Zaki. I cannot die here. It seems that we discredit the mortals of Universe 7 too much. I'll have to use that final technique." Beerus watches and speaks. "Vegeta, get out of there. This technique, even for you, can be something extremely complicated." The instant Banzarot lands his ultimate blow on Vegeta, Goku begins to suffer several anomalies in his body, and a planetary energy is brought under his body. Goku's body again transcends and appears in front of Vegeta. Goku was going to receive Banzarot's blow, and the energy sphere enters his body, and it seems that the galaxy began to explode. At that instant, Goku says, "Vegeta, I'm sorry, but my body yearns to eliminate this guy." Goku charges forward to attack Banzarot. Banzarot says, "Ha ha ha, I can't believe this will be the end of me." At that instant, in the Daishinkan Palace, Zakai starts laughing and speaks. "Looks like you're counting victory ahead of time, Daishinkan." Daishinkan says, "Your most powerful gods are practically gone." At that instant, Zakai says, "Daishinkan, we are in a war. You should know that you are not the only one with intelligence here. Before Zaki and Banzarot came to battle, I made sure to seal their powers myself. In short, they are not fighting at their full strength, but they are finished in battle. However, thinking this could happen, I left a warrior waiting in case that happened. As you may know, I have 6 universes on my side, and only 4 gods of destruction have been introduced so far. I left him, that sadist from Universe 13, to take care of it all." Daishinkan says, "Impossible, don't tell me that." At that instant on Earth, Goku was about to hit Banzarot with his last attack. At that moment, a large smoke appears over Banzarot's body, throwing him away. Banzarot says, "What was this?" Zaki was lying on the ground. A voice comes up and says, "Haha, damn, you guys took a beating. They want to fight all the Saiyans and the gods of destruction of the universe together. Ha ha ha, they didn't even make a plan. Ha ha, you would only be able to do this if you were me." Banzarot says, "What are you doing here?" At that moment, a being with white hair and a scar on his face begins to smile. Omni Goku, without thinking twice, advances to attack the warrior. Goku says, "You stopped me from finishing Banzarot. You'll pay for that." The unknown warrior takes Goku's hand and Goku smiles. The unknown warrior says, "Interesting, full of aggression. Let me introduce myself. I'm Yujiro, the Annihilator. Haha." Yujiro, the Annihilator, comes face to face with Goku. Omni Goku was about to end the threat of Banzarot, the first Saiyan God, who had let his guard down alongside Zaki, who ended up taking the biggest turn in the fight after Goku and Vegeta had arrived again at Universe 7 on Earth. Broly and Gohan were fighting, holding their own in Universe 7. Gohan continues to have his fight against Kai. The battle was getting more and more intense, but after Goku and Vegeta had the conversation and discovered everything about Yamoshi's essence, his powers began to increase more and more. Goku has achieved his new transformation that transcends all powers imaginable. At that moment, Banzarot couldn't imagine that Goku had managed to get so much stronger like that. Goku says, "Good. That's your end, Banzarot. I hope someday we meet and you reincarnate into a better person. While that doesn't happen, this is the moment that everything ends for you. Kamehameha! Or Kamehameha! Goku's greatest Kamehameha was about to be released. Goku advanced to Banzarot. At that instant, a great light appeared directly on the Earth of Universe 7. Goku stops his Kamehameha and watches and says, "What's going on here? This isn't making any sense. What is this?" Goku steps forward to land a punch on Banzarot and a voice comes up and speaks. "Ha ha ha, I cannot stop laughing. What happened to you two? Supreme Saiyan Banzarot and Saiyan God Hybrid Zaki knocked out, huh? Ha ha ha. Geez, you look like you two took a real beating. Who was to say that Hybrid Saiyan and Supreme God Saiyan Zaki and Banzarot would be in this deplorable state? Look at you two. Banzarot, you were really close to being defeated." At that moment, Banzarot hears the voice and says, "Is that you, Yujiro?" At that moment, Goku was in the attack position, while his hand is stopped by a being with silver hair, bright eyes, shirtless, and with some scars. Beerus makes a serious face and says, "This guy right here is..." At that moment, Vegeta watched and spoke. "Kakarot was about to defeat these two. Who is this guy standing in front of us? Do you know him, Mr. Beerus?" At that moment, Yujiro, who was the unknown being, holds Goku's hand and speaks. "Ha ha ha! So does that mean you are the one the Great Mother of Angels was looking for? This is really going to get interesting. I think you should reflect and come with us, Son Goku. You need to understand both sides of this war. Your strength level is very high. We couldn't waste it by killing you here." Goku starts laughing and says, "Killing me here? Haha, I don't know who you are, but if you look closely, it is your team that is at the biggest disadvantage." The unknown being starts laughing and speaks. "That is interesting. I had forgotten that you gave Zaki and Banzarot a real beating. Let me introduce myself, Son Goku. I am Yujiro, the Annihilator. My team was at a disadvantage until now, but now that I've arrived, it's time that the game starts to turn. Yujiro, the Annihilator. Who will this warrior be? He appeared and not even the highest gods expected his arrival." At that moment, Beerus speaks. "How is this guy here? It doesn't make any sense. Does that mean he had his choice then? He has decided which way he will fight." At that moment, Goku and everyone else starts to question themselves. "Come on, reveal yourself, which universe you are from." At that instant, Beerus says, "If I'm not mistaken, Yujiro owes the god of destruction of Universe 13. But what amazes me is that this guy wasn't born a god." At that moment, Vegeta looks on and says, "But what are you talking about?" Beerus responds, "Yujiro in the First Celestial War just decided to fight alongside those who were the most powerful. He managed to show a very great performance, but Yujiro is a common mortal. Like Goku, he wasn't born with great abilities and didn't have many powers. He simply managed to get stronger through the power of his training and his determination. This mortal, even without being of a powerful race, he managed to master Ultra Instinct, the technique that even the gods of destruction struggle to pull off. After that, he went more and more raising his power. Only with brute force did time pass. Yujiro was chosen by the past gods of Universe 13. He was destroying many different planets. As this happened, Yujiro gained the name of an annihilator. Whenever anyone called him, he would destroy anything. Yujiro destroyed several planets and fought several enemies alone. But it was still somewhat questionable. I couldn't really understand what was going on. As time went on changing and things were happening, Yujiro began to gain more renown. Several gods wanted to take over Universe 13. Yujiro was always summoned to be able to fight these gods. And I speak again, even though I am from the lower class of your unknown race. He managed to eliminate these gods. What caught the attention of the Mother of Angels? Her name of Yujiro the Annihilator had already been given. Until the moment he received the invitation to become the Supreme God of Destruction of Universe 13. At that moment, Vegeta says, "You mean this guy's that strong? That sadistic look of his. It seems like he's always hiding something. But what amazes you so much, Mr. Beerus? Is it the fact that he simply became another god of destruction for Universe 13? At that instant, Beerus noticed speech. Really, that would be somewhat questionable, or he could just be another warrior. But this time what impresses me is that, as I said, he wasn't born in Universe 13. He was simply the most powerful mortal. that mortal who surpassed the power of the gods of destruction. Yujiro, the mortal of Universe 2. At that instant, Vegeta says, "What? How did he end up in Universe 13? Was there any betrayal? Damn this guy. He left Zeno-sama and Daishinkan to directly join the Mother of Angels." At that moment, Yujiro watches and speaks. Haha, well, let's say I didn't betray anyone. I just never agreed with the ideals of the Great Priest and Zeno-sama. Do you think I would have to agree with the child who just by closing his hands can erase a universe in the blink of an eye? Let alone agree with an angel who protects this child with his life. You make me sick. Anyone who doesn't agree with Zeno's ideals is deleted without a chance to defend themselves. What a joke. Anyone who disagrees with the angels suffers the consequence. Hierarchies of gods only work for those who are the strongest, ended up annihilating the weakest. Haha, this is just how the world is. I just didn't agree with it. Are they going to judge me for it now? Zakai, the Mother of Angels, has always been correct. If it's destruction and celestial disagreements that you want, we only have one way to resolve this, and it will be on the basis of war. The strongest solve it like this, with their fists. Haha. The last one standing is the one who wins. That's how I grew up and how I got my fame as the Annihilator. I have always been devoted to the Mother of the Angels, Zakai, so I'm just here to bring balance and help my people. Son Goku, have you thought about your answer? Come with me, let's go together to Universe 13, and then we'll meet the Mother of Angels, Zakai. Goku watches and says, "This guy started talking in the middle of the fight with me. He simply ignored that he was fighting me and went to answer Mr. Beerus. This guy's watching. He's smiling like it's no big deal. Perhaps it is better to analyze this enemy further." At that moment, Yujiro starts to smile and says, "He knows. I've always tried to select the most powerful warriors here in this universe, and you should know that there are extremely powerful beings who also don't agree with the decisions of the Celestials here." One of these warriors I sympathized a lot and made him a proposal. The first message to all of you is that never in a war start listening to the enemy. This is the biggest opening to let your guard down and be at the mercy of the enemy. At that instant, while Yujiro was speaking, another presence had appeared in front of everyone's backs and a large beam of energy is launched over Vegeta's chest. Vegeta unknowingly has his chest pierced with a huge attack from behind. Vegeta kneels on the ground and says, "What was this?" Beerus looks back and Goku says, "You can't be miserable. You do not change." A big laugh breaks out. Black Frieza. Frieza, always regarded as the greatest and greatest villain of all. Frieza, after being revived, began to have different thoughts of what he would have to do and the decisions he would have to make in the midst of everything that was happening. Moments ago, before Yujiro the Annihilator arrived on Earth, Yujiro spoke by telepathy with the High Priestess Zakai, who said, "It looks like everyone's plan to capture Son Goku could go down the drain. Haha, I said that if Banzarot and Zaki joined forces, no one would ever be able to defeat them. But they always prefer to fight that individual way. Apart from the fact that they are very hard-headed, they didn't want to take their armies to the enemy camp. I believe that only they could solve this. Other than that, this trick of wanting to consider the enemy that he is weak makes the two lower their guards too much. Can you understand that? I mean, I think you are the only one who can solve this situation. You are most sensible now, haha." "What do you think, Yujiro? Haha. Or will you want to go back and stand next to the Great Priest?" At that moment, Yujiro appears and starts smiling, saying, "Haha, Mother of Angels, that's not quite how things work. I guess I couldn't cheat on her. My way of thinking goes against the law and the freedom of many, and your Majesty knows this very well. But there is a warrior who is known as the cunning and tyrant of Universe 7, who, in pursuit of power, always accepts doing anything. He just had to keep an eye on his attitudes, that everything will be resolved. This mortal caught my attention. I'm sure that if we offer something in return, he can collaborate with us and still be of great help. His race is quite intriguing, and I think some beings of that same race are on his side, isn't it? Zakai starts laughing and says, Are you referring to the cold demons? Yujiro laughs at Zakai and says, Haha, exactly. In past moments, when Frieza had managed to escape the planet of the Destruction Cats after Goku and Broly caused a major catastrophe there in rescuing Shirei, Frieza escaped and returned to his ship and began to wander in space with his army thinking what would be his next attitude, since Frieza wanted to become an emperor of the entire universe. At that moment, in the blink of an eye, Yujiro appears directly on Frieza's ship. Frieza says,
Well, you don't have a face that belongs to the breed of cats of destruction. The face of yours looks like a Saiyan, but I feel a totally different energy in you. Who are you and what do you want with me?
At that moment, Yujiro starts to laugh insanely and talks. I just have an invitation to make to you, Frieza. I belong to Universe 13. You definitely want to become something much bigger than a god of destruction. I can tell by your ambition, and I know exactly what you must do to achieve that goal. Hehehe. How about we come to an agreement? Frieza starts to smile and says,
This is interesting. I don't know you, but I already like you.
The two sadistic gazers begin to stare at each other in space. Back to present times. Black Frieza attacks Vegeta from behind in the Celestial War. Beerus, enraged, and speaks. You don't take care of it, do you, Frieza? How dare you attack a war ally in front of the destruction of this universe? Vegeta says, Is this wretch still alive? He disappears for all this time, and when he appears, he's next to the enemy. I will not forgive you. Vegeta received a serious blow. Beerus says, Well, calm down, Vegeta. Try to recover at least a little energy. We will look for some seed of the gods. At that moment, Gohan and Broly are watching. Gohan says, Damn it, I still haven't managed to recover all my energy, and Frieza is using this new transformation, becoming Black Frieza. Damn it, what is he going to do? We need to pay close attention. Yujiro, smiling, speaks. Have you seen only Goku? I said that the turnaround time in the battle would now begin. Goku launches a Kamehameha in front of Yujiro. Yujiro dodges with great ease and starts laughing. Haha, what is this? Did you think that you would be able to defeat me? Are you going crazy? Yujiro starts laughing maniacally. At that moment, Yujiro was startled to see that Goku was no longer in front of him. Goku had transported straight in front of Frieza. Yujiro speaks. So does that mean what it is? You want to fight Frieza himself? Haha, but it won't. I'm coming to you, Goku. Yujiro advances towards Goku, but at that moment, Beerus enters the front. Beerus, smiling, says, For you to get to Goku, you'll have to go through me first. I have questions for you. Yujiro starts laughing and says, Haha, let's see if he's not the big wrecker who has matters to deal with me. I feel honored. When I was little, I already heard about the legends of Beerus, the cat of destruction, that wiped out his entire race. Beerus starts throwing punches at Yujiro. At that moment, Goku faces Black Frieza and says, No matter what happens, you don't change, Frieza. No matter what we do, you always come up with these attitudes. I will resolve this situation with you here and now. Frieza starts laughing, activating his black form, while Goku was already using his Omni King transformation. Black Frieza says,
He knows, just a little. Sometimes we need to choose the best paths that mean for us to achieve our goals. Then you will be able to really understand why things have to happen. Do you understand, Son Goku? Your power level can get higher and higher, and you know that I would not accept that you were the greatest power reference in Universe 7. I think this universe no longer belongs to me. In this universe, it no longer means anything to me. Right now, I'm going to show you everything I'm capable of, and everything that must happen in the course of these battles.
Black Frieza launches a large blast of energy directly at Goku. Goku dodges and begins to attack Frieza with great mastery. Omni Goku says, "No matter what level of power Frieza has, what you did was unacceptable. I'm already tired of always passing a cloth under the atrocities you carried out. Receive now my strongest power." Goku recreates a large spirit bomb right on his arm and tries to land a punch directly at Frieza. Frieza is thrown away and says,
"How did you manage to get so strong? What kind of power is this? I cannot understand."
At that moment, a huge explosion had occurred. Several blows had been thrown. Frieza tries to counter Goku Omni by throwing several blows at Goku. Goku starts to dodge and lands several attacks on Black Frieza. Frieza begins to receive a total disadvantage. Black Frieza says,
"Why is it always like this? Why are you always one step ahead? I cannot understand. I had already overcome it with the power of my black form. Am I going to have to reveal another secret here now?"
Goku was about to attack Frieza again and launch the final attack. At that moment, back to Beerus' fight against Yujiro. Yujiro watches everyone and speaks. "Good. I think you better pay close attention. The things that can happen here are going to be pretty puzzling. You have questions for me, Beerus?" I confess that this is somewhat interesting, but still, we have some issues to be resolved, and you will need to understand what will really happen in the course of all this. You will understand that powers that are the highest are those that the strongest have already decided who will be the most powerful and who will be victorious in the midst of this. Can you see that? This fight will get more and more interesting. The presence of the one who was the strongest is waiting for you. Beerus watches and speaks. "Who are you talking about?" At that moment, Yujiro says, "Haha, it seems you forget all your family, Beerus. You shouldn't think like that. You shouldn't forget those who are the strongest, and especially what they could do." Frieza was kneeling in front of Goku as he practically cried, and Goku lunged in front of him. Frieza says,
"Does that mean it's going to be like this? For the 1000th time, you will kill me mercilessly. I should expect that from you."
Serious Goku speaks. You will never be forgiven, Frieza." Frieza smiles slightly. Vegeta, with his breathless voice, speaks.
"Kakarot, you idiot! Frieza would never give up in a battle. As always, you will let your guard down. You didn't realize what happened last time."
At that moment, Goku says, "It won't be the same as before. Frieza has no more strength to fight." At that moment, Beerus observes and speaks. "Then that's it. Yujiro, you damn. Goku, get out of there immediately." In a few moments, an arm pierces Omni Goku's chest from the back. Goku speaks.
What was that?
"Impossible. Who are you?" At that instant, a voice arises and speaks too. "Beerus, how long has it been, my dear brother? Looks like you discovered me too late. I finally found you." Gon, the third son of Son Goku, wakes up in an unknown palace. The battle that took place in all universes resulted in losses for both sides of the war. Specifically in Universe 7, the battles were more complex thanks to the Z Warriors. A parallel victory of Universe 7 managed to be brought. But even so, the warrior who apparently had the greatest battle potential was captured by the Angel of Universe 14. Kai, the Angel, regarded as the strongest in brute strength, captures Goku's third son. Gon says, "What's happening to me? My body feels like it took a real beating. I just remembered the moment when I was fighting that angel. That guy was pretty crazy. He spoke only of subjects as if he was a hero who wanted to protect the universe, and in the end, he was invading our universe. I can't understand. If I'm down here, it means that I lost the fight. Damn it." At that moment, Kai appears and says, "You fought me, and you fought bravely, boy. Haha. I said I wouldn't end you, but I couldn't let you win either, so that's why I brought you here." This place is the palace of the great Mother Priestess, the mother of all angels. At that instant, Gon observes and speaks. You're here again? Wait, so does this mean that I really was defeated? Where are all the others? Kai starts laughing and says, I already told you that you fought bravely. His powers were very high, but there is no angel more powerful than me. Perhaps if you had fought one of my brothers, you could have emerged victorious. But you fought Kai, the Universe 14's most powerful angel. Even the two gods of destruction that came with me took a hell of a beating to the warriors who were fighting alongside your father. I must say that they are very strong. Son Gohan, who is actually his brother alongside Piccolo and Broly and the others, did very well in the first phase of the war. I could have taught them a lesson, but I needed to bring you here for the Mother of Angels to decide what to do with you. Haha. At that moment, Gon says, I think I was still holding back my powers. Maybe if I hadn't contained my angelic strength and fought 100%, I could have emerged victorious. Kai watches and speaks. Hahaha, no way. I didn't use all my powers either. Gon watches and says, What? This guy looks like he can read minds. What is happening? At that moment, a great voice arises. Ha 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 ha. Perfect to meet you. You are Son Goku's son, aren't you? Gon observes an angelic female presence and says, Who are you? Kai smiles and says, Calm down. She is Zakai, the mother of all angels. At that moment, Zakai says, I am the mother of the angels, but you can just call me Zakai. I'm here to tell you that we are in a celestial war and maybe for many moments it is meaningless. I feel that Cypher's energy that fought you a while ago is sealed away in Universe 6 by your mother Vados. Unfortunately, Ziel was destroyed in Universe 11. Zyko next to Zyro so far, they haven't returned. I confess that I still don't know where they are. But you are here with us. You can end this war. You can end it all. Have you ever thought about it? You to the Saiyan with the angelic power we need, Gon. Gon with a serious face says, What are you talking about? Days passed. In Universe 7, all the Destruction Cats and all other beings that were a threat had been eliminated. At that moment, Shenron's magic ended up being undone, and all humans had returned to Earth and to their respective planets. Beerus the Destroyer says, It seems that not even Shenron's power was able to contain all the mortals on the planet it had been called upon to. But still, Goku, we can see that you and Vegeta have become much more powerful. The Mother of Angels seems to have ceased her attack for the time being. What must she be wanting with your son? I could already think of several questions. At that moment, Whis appears in Universe 7. Whis says, I've been looking for some information, Mr. Beerus, and there is someone who knows what we have to do. At that moment, Goku was with all the Z fighters, Krillin, Tenshin Han, Yamcha, Piccolo, Goten, Trunks, Gohan, and the others. Goku says, I have no idea what they are trying to do with Gon, but I'm sure some sort of blackmail could be going on. We can't let them have it. Vados directly appears in Universe 7 and stands by Whis. Vados says, Son Goku, in fact what they want is to bring the kingdom back from the Angels of Darkness, and to open that portal would need the most powerful energy of destruction and the most powerful energy of creation. Apparently, Gon has these powers because he has your Saiyan blood and my angelic blood. Gohan watches and speaks. What does this boy have to do with my father and Mrs. Vados? Goku looks at Gohan and speaks. Haha, calm down, Gohan. It's a long story. Vados goes on to say, They will want to make him strong and make him build great confidence and then sacrifice him and serve as the key to open the portal of the Kingdom of Dragons against the kingdom of the most powerful race and thus have complete control over all universes. At that moment, Goku watches and says, "What? Miserable. They want to kill Gon to fulfill his ideals?" Beerus says, "I always knew and always imagined it could happen. I just didn't think it would happen so soon." Vegeta beside Goku rages and speaks. "If they bring an army of warriors to their side and attack our universe, it will surely be impossible to defeat them." Vados and Whis start to laugh and say, "Perhaps, if only you were talking about yourselves, you would certainly be at an extreme disadvantage. But now we already have a card that will bring us hope. Some universes manage to defeat some of them, so they must probably be very angry. But to accomplish their goals, they will not be doing anything against these universes. On the other hand, we already have the warriors who will accept to fight until the end." Goku watches and says, "What? Like this?" Beerus starts to smile, and at that moment, through the celestial cube, all the warriors who had the best performance in the war are transferred directly to Earth from Universe 7. Cauliflower, Jiren, Kaba, Hit, Kale were all gathered. A voice comes up.
"Vegeta-san, Goku-san, don't forget about me."
Granola appears, an unusual presence. All the other warriors who had fought emerge. Incredibly, Frieza was beside them. Vegeta says, "What is that bastard doing here?" At that moment, Vados speaks. "Frieza only attacked you for a plan that he had been granted to carry out himself. He was able to understand more about the enemy and passed all this information on to us. So oddly enough, Frieza is not the enemy, at least for now. In fact, if it weren't for him, we wouldn't have been able to put together this strategy." Frieza starts laughing.
"Just see, Vegeta. Our fight will have to wait for later."
At that moment, Cauliflower looks at Goku and says, "Grandpa, I'm sure you must have gotten much stronger, but I managed to raise my power to unimaginable levels." Goku starts to smile and says, "Haha, you are all here now. I'm sure we have high chances of winning. You managed to get much stronger." Gohan starts to smile next to Broly. It seems that hope for a Universe 7 and all universes had been created. At that moment, Beerus and Whis begin to analyze the situation. Beerus says, "I have a plan." At that moment, everyone watches. Beerus speaks. They know that because of the great mighty warriors that exist here, and the hope factor for the battle makes everyone stronger. So by that factor, they just knew things were going to get more and more intriguing. This way we couldn't leave it beaten. Banzarot and Zaki, who are considered the ultimate Saiyans, due to having fought all Saiyans in the end, they let their guard down and ended up being defeated. But still, in this territory, they only managed to use 30% of their powers. Do you see that? But we have already proved that our level of resilience is the highest. This time they had attacked our universe. Now, we're going to do the opposite. We will attack theirs. The advantage and all the risk will be ours. Beerus starts to smile. Goku and all other Z fighters are excited. Goku says, "So it will be this time that we will end this war and save Gon." Grand Priest Palace. The High Priest looks at Zeno-sama's guards and says,
"It seems that the flame of hope has returned again, but we have a problem."
At that moment, Zeno-sama wakes up. Meanwhile, in the unknown galaxy at Zakai's palace, Zakai alongside Kai starts watching Banzarot and Zaki's body being recovered. At that moment, Yujiro appears and speaks. "Looks like things were a lot more complicated. Invading the enemy's territory, and still only with 30% power, makes it very difficult for us to resolve this situation." Kai watches and says, "I was at 30% power, and I still managed to defeat this boy. And this boy is much more powerful than the Saiyans you are fighting. You are very weak. At that moment, Yujiro speaks. You think too much, Kai. Soon I will make up with you. At that moment, Zakai starts to smile and says, Our goal is close. We had losses, but this is a war. We have to focus on our second celestial phase. Now that we have Gon with us, it's only a matter of time before we complete our plan. Everything will start. Let's bring him back, our dear Supreme Dragon, and open the portal to the realms. Days passed, and apparently the land was at peace. The first phase of the Celestial War had taken place, and several losses had taken place for both sides. However, still Goku beside Vegeta and all the other warriors were with Beerus preparing for the invasion of the Celestial Kingdom of the Angel Zakai. Goku trained with Vegeta, trying again to master his Omni powers. Goku says, Vegeta, since all this started, it seemed that we have been able to surpass our powers more and more, but very strong enemies still keep appearing. Banzarot and Zaki are two monsters. If it's true that they only used 30% of their powers, we need to stay on getting much stronger if we want to come out victorious in this fight. This really turns out to be amazing. At that moment, Vegeta starts to observe and says, They are powerful, but they still won't be able to defeat us. After I discover the true essence of my power, no one else will be able to defeat me, Kakarot. After all this is over, I want to have a fight with you to prove I'm superior. Beerus and Whis start watching. Beerus says, Looks like the two of you are trading pretty well. They are wanting to get more and more powerful. That's interesting. If we stop to think about everything that happened, it was quite intense. Gon is captured. But don't worry. You can get more powerful because I'm sure that as long as Gon is useful to Zakai, she won't do anything against him. Gohan observes and speaks. It seems that all of this that ended up happening made us realize that if we don't get stronger, Earth could end up ceasing to exist in the blink of an eye. There are many powerful warriors that end up appearing here. I'm sure we'll have to sort this whole situation out. At that moment, Goku begins to increase his powers even more. Goku says, I'm sure my Omni energy will come back. At that moment, Goku, combining his Ultra Instinct, begins to feel a huge anomaly in his body. Beerus and everyone else starts watching. At that moment, Beerus says, What is that? What's going on with Goku? Goku's Omni energy started to change and became an entirely different color. Goku's Omni energy felt like it was being combined with another power. At that moment, Whis starts laughing and says, It looks like he finally woke up. Beerus next to Vegeta, Gohan and the others speak. Who woke up? At that moment, Whis smiles and says, Hahaha, Zeno-sama. Palace of Zeno-sama. Zeno-sama finally wakes up from his sleep. Zeno observes everything and says,
Daishin-kan, it seems that my sleep was too long. What happened during all this time? I feel like universes ended up being torn apart. The gods of destruction finished their job sooner than we thought.
At that moment, Zeno-sama's guards start to observe Daishin-kan. Daishin-kan says,
Good. It wasn't just that. Master Zeno, I can say that we ended up having visits from beings from the past.
Zeno-sama looks impressed and speaks.
Oh, what happened, Daishin-kan?
Daishin-kan smiles and says,
It seems that the High Priestess Zakai, alongside the gods of destruction of the universes that were erased by the Lord in the past, somehow ended up returning. So it seems with that, things got much more complex and resulted in a celestial war. A few moments ago, Zakai was here. Goku and his friends fought extremely hard battles. A son of Goku who was brought from another timeline that would be the key to ending this war ended up being captured by the Mother of Angels. So that's why I confess that all the warriors are carrying out a new training to be able to carry out the invasion directly in the palace of the great priestess Zakai.
At that moment, Zeno-sama makes a straight face and says,
Like this? This all happened while I was sleeping. Why didn't Goku ever tell me he had another son? He could play with me.
Daishinkan keeps talking.
The most complex thing is that even if you wanted to erase those universes, you wouldn't be able to due to some spell that was cast by the priestess Zakai. So maybe it would be good for us to pay close attention, because even so, a great battle will take place, Sir Zeno.
Zeno-sama starts to smile and says,
I so wanted to play the universe with them again. I blacked out in their universe in the past because I knew they were going to do all this. I knew that in the past they will show the whole truth. They are evil. They always wanted to destroy everyone, but now if they have this nullification magic, I already know how interesting it would be to fight all this.
At that moment, Zeno-sama begins to spread his energy directly to all universes. Large purple auras begin to spread out. Zeno-sama feels a great Omni God energy and says,
Whose power is this? This power is very similar to the power of creation and destruction.
At that moment, the great priest begins to smile and speaks.
Good. I believe that this power belongs to someone like you a lot, Mr. Zeno. That power is Son Goku's.
At that instant on Earth, Goku says,
What's going on with my body? It seems that my body is increasing its heavenly energy more and more. I can't understand what this is.
At that moment, Beerus observes and speaks. So does that mean that Zeno-sama woke up? If he woke up, it is possible that the energy that is flowing in his body is flowing as the universal energy. It could be that it's being transmitted directly into Goku's body once he reached the Omni stage. Everyone starts watching and speaking.
What? So what's going on with you, Goku?
Gohan speaks.
It seems that my father is reaching a new power.
Broly smiles and says,
It's very familiar, but at the same time it's very different from the power he showed when he was fighting directly against Banzarot and Zaki. And I thought that his limit was close when he showed the Infinite Saiyan in the Grand Priest's palace.
At that moment, Beerus watches and says, Goku, grant me a fight with you here and now. I want to understand a little more of your energy. Goku starts trying to understand what was happening to his body. Vegeta is just watching. Goku says,
Alright, Sir Beerus, let's test this power of mine.
At that moment, Goku with his other Ultra Instinct activated goes towards Beerus. Beerus easily dodges the attacks and with the mastery of the Ultra Ego, activates an extremely high power and launches it over Goku's body. Cornered Goku speaks.
It seems that this power of Mr. Beerus is really very powerful. I'm thinking here, in the same way that if I use Infinite Saiyan, I would lose all my Omni energy. My Omni form manages to be even more powerful, but for some reason, I'm not able to focus it 100%.
Goku tries to attack Beerus. At that moment, Beerus dodges and uses his Hakai form. Goku manages to recover, and after using his Omni form, Goku manages to suck all the Hakai energy into his Omni power. The Omni energy apparently caused Goku to absorb the energy and pump it all into his body. Beerus and Whis beside everyone are surprised. At that moment, a big explosion happens. Goku says,
What is this power that I'm emanating?
This is all amazing. At that moment, Whis observes and speaks.
Does that mean he manages to overcome himself more and more? It seems that his power was noticed, Son Goku. Finally, he arrived.
A great light arises directly in Universe 7. At that moment, it was Zeno-sama beside the High Priest and his guards. Beerus and Whis are impressed. Zeno-sama looks at Goku and says,
Whoa, Goku, it's been a while. You must have gotten a lot stronger than you did in the Tournament of Power. We need to talk.
Zeno-sama's guards make a serious face and the High Priest continues to chuckle. What does Zeno-sama have to say to Goku? Meanwhile, in the unknown galaxy in the palace of the Grand Priestess, Goku's third son with Vados was trying to run away through the ruins of the palace, but the voice of the High Priestess spoke.
It doesn't matter how many times you have to escape from here, Gon. It won't work. Come on, come with me.
At that instant, Gon watches and speaks. It looks like there's no way. For me to get away from this place, the first thing I'll have to do is finish them all off here. At that moment, the High Priestess appears in front of Gon and speaks.
Don't worry. Don't be afraid of me. I will not do like Zyros giving you a kiss of death. I will simply make you understand that by your side, we will conquer everything. Please just listen to me, Gon.
Gon was shocked by everything the High Priestess Zakai had said. The Great Priestess Zakai was analyzing everything that would happen within this war. Gon didn't know about the past of the angels and the gods of destruction that were erased earlier by Zeno-sama. Gon starts to question himself. It seems that whatever she's talking about is some kind of trap, but even so, not everything she is saying seems to be a lie. Really, the power of the gods and the decision to want to erase the universe whenever they want is something complicated. Zeno-sama's power as a child, being able to carry out more and more catastrophes, becomes something very surreal. If we stop to think, perhaps this could all be changed, but the moment someone tries to change something that is heavenly law, it seems that the great controversy ends up being created. I need to pay close attention because any decision I decide to make in this war could trigger in an even bigger way. But wait, what if I think differently and end up simply resolving this situation myself? Maybe my father can't understand which side I'm really on, but if I find a way to make the other 6 universes continue to exist and at the same time make the warriors stop getting into big conflicts, maybe that would be the best decision to make. At that moment, Gon had already made his decision. The High Priestess Zakai starts laughing and says, So Gon, what will you want to do? You know very well that you need to stand on one side in this war. As I said, I have no intention of using some secret technique to try to summon you and manipulate you. In fact, the only thing I want is for you to make the best decision for it. Gon starts laughing and speaks to the High Priestess Zakai. It seems that your true ideal is to create a great revolution, but that will only happen if I exist. Haha. So even if you want to, at least at this moment, you can't do it. I will put an end to this war, but in my own way, whether or not you want me to help you in this war. But at various times, you know that a great catastrophe can be created. Perhaps your ideal of wanting to bring the gods of darkness from the past, including dragons, is not the best way to resolve all of this. I know very well what can happen. You are wanting to do this as a revenge method or a method that will want to cause a big catastrophe, but at the same time, I can understand a little bit from your side. I already made my decision. Gon starts smiling at Zakai. What mysteries are behind Son Goku's third son? What are his true powers that can be combined alongside the rage of a hybrid that possesses Saiyan and angelic energy? What is Gon's decision? Meanwhile, directly on Earth, Goku next to Beerus, Vegeta and the other warriors were impressed to see Zeno-sama. Goku says, Zenshan, Haha, I'm so glad you finally woke up. Haha, be aware that we're having a very big battle, but don't worry, we'll get it all sorted out. Please don't do like last time, wanting to erase the universes. At that moment, Zeno-sama observes and speaks.
Goku, Daishinkan already told me everything that's going on. I heard that you can get stronger every time, besides showing incredible transformations. I'm sure you'll manage to get much more powerful each time. Everything you showed in the Tournament of Power was incredible. It just seemed like everything was so fantastic and perfect. The level you managed to reach was really sensational. I confess that I want to watch all your battles because I know that your powers will get stronger. Don't worry about Goku. Even if I wanted to, he wouldn't be able to erase these universes.
At that moment, Goku starts to smile and says, Zen-chan, just now I felt some anomalies in my body. You mean it was being involved with your ability? Do you have the powers to solve this? At that moment, Zeno-sama's guards start looking at Goku. The High Priest says,
Son Goku, very well. Looks like you and your friends managed to hold together perfectly here in this universe. It seems that all universes managed to resolve this situation. I was able to follow the conversation that Beerus the Destroyer had with you. Do you mean now that the attack will start directly from Universe 7 alongside the allied universes? So you want to directly invade the Grand Priestess's palace, do you? This is interesting. Sakai was just with me, and what amazed me was that in the midst of all this war, she didn't even land a blow on me. I explained all this to Zeno-sama. Mr. Zeno's most powerful ability, which is universal eradication, has no effect on universes that have been retracted back. We really need to understand if Zeno-sama's powers are actually being annulled by some other being, or if this is all about some spell actually done by the priestess Sakai. An enemy that manages to annul Zeno-sama's eradication power becomes a dark enemy. Looks like this will have to be resolved one-on-one, haha. Ziel was defeated by Jiren. Ziel's ability worked to nullify the power of angels. This guy was literally a pain in the ass, but Jiren managed to resolve his situation with him. However, still, I noticed that Gon was captured. One of the things that makes me question is, what would be the decision that Gon could have if Sakai explained to him his point of view of what happens in a celestial war? At that moment, Goku and Vegeta look on. Vegeta says,
What is he trying to say with that? Does he mean that this son of Kakarot might betray us? I don't understand. It looks like things can get more and more complex. I really wanted to understand. It seems that the powers and levels that are being shown make us wonder about the battles that can happen. This boy, he will still show extremely high potential. It remains to be seen which side he will be on.
At that moment, Goku says, But what are you talking about? Gon has always been by our side. He is my third child and his powers are incredible. He is the key to putting an end to this war, as Vado-san herself spoke. We traveled to another timeline to get Gon here, and since then we've been training insanely and getting stronger together. Gon has proven his loyalty countless times. Goku starts remembering all the battles he's had. Goku remembers his first battle with Piccolo against the Saiyans, Majin Buu, Beerus' invasion, and later Zamasu and Goku Black. The awakening of Ultra Instinct came in Goku's mind. Several enemies existed. Why is Goku thinking this way? Daishinkan watches. Rest assured, Mr. Goku, but we can't stop asking ourselves this question if everything that happened couldn't have been manipulated by someone. What if Gon needed to be brought in by you and Vados for Sakai's plans to succeed? At that moment, Zeno-sama starts laughing and says,
You are a very good being, Goku. That's why I wanted you to receive my heavenly energy to be able to fight the enemies that are in this war. Whoever it is, I want you to defeat them all.
Beerus and Whis beside everyone are shocked by what Zeno-sama says. Vegeta says,
What do you mean he wants Kakarot to receive his powers?
Goku watches everything and doesn't say anything. At that moment, when Goku is going to make his decision, a great light appears directly in Universe 7. At that moment, the Great Priest watches and speaks.
Looks like we have an unusual visitor.
At that moment, Goku watches and smiles, saying, "God, did you manage to escape? Haha, I knew it! You're amazing! Let's take these guys out!" At that moment, Gon with a totally different face says, "I didn't escape. I came here of my own free will, in the same way that I will return to the palace of the priestess Zakai. I just have a message to give to all of you." Gon inexplicably appears on Earth while the High Priest was talking and explaining everything about the priestess Zakai's next steps. At that moment, many doubts ended up being created. The High Priest had said that Gon could change sides in the Celestial War, which didn't make any sense to Goku, Vados, and everyone else. Once Gon came from another timeline to be able to fight and save the world from him. Gon, the third son of Son Goku, the angel Vados of Universe 6, apparently has even more complex ideals. What will be Gon's true ideal? What will Gon be able to show in the face of all of this? Gon appears on Earth. Goku starts watching Gon and Gon says, "Dad, it looks like we meet again, but I am just here to deliver a message to all of you. So from what I can see, we have Zeno-sama and her guards, the Great Priest and my father's warrior friends who fought at the beginning of the Celestial War. Haha. This is awesome. Haha. You are all very strong. Actually, I think I was the only one who lost the fight. I ended up being defeated by Kai. But I think this defeat helped me to start remembering some things that happened in my past. But I don't know what's happening to me after I talk to the Great Priestess Zakai, even though I don't agree with her ideas. I also cannot agree with the ideals of the Great Priest next to Zeno-sama. It seems I can even understand why this war is taking place, and I know exactly what to do to stop it. I managed to come into a slightly different mindset. I know what I need to do to put an end to this war." At that moment, Goku watches and speaks. "Gon, what are you talking about? It doesn't make any sense. This isn't like you. Stop this. Come with us. Zen-chan is here. He knows very well what we will need to do to put an end to it all." At that moment, Gon starts to laugh and says, "Haha, Father, I'm sorry, but I said that I'm the one who will speak here. I have just one request to make of you." Beerus beside Whis starts watching and talking. "This kid doesn't seem to have been given any manipulation techniques. Everything he's doing here seems to be of his own free will. I am unable to understand this." At that moment, Zeno-sama starts to look innocently and smiles, saying,
This boy looks a lot like Goku. His eyes are red and his hair is white. Oh, how cool! Taishinkan, his hair is the same color as his. He said he is Goku's son with Vados. Can angels have children with mortals? Oh, I want to know more about this, Goku.
In a few moments, the High Priest says,
I don't know why my intuition didn't say I was wrong. Looks like the kid really wants to be by Zakai's side. What did she say to him that made him change his mind so much? I don't remember this kid being so convinced of the things he said.
At that moment, we can see that Gon started to smile. Gon says, Haha, I will put an end to this war, but for this war to end, both sides will have to have their gods destroyed. This is called a revolution. Zeno-sama and his gods, the Great Priest, you are the real key piece. Because of you, all disagreements happen. If I finish you off, after that, I just need to destroy this Zakai and the others. After that, everything will be resolved. Zeno-sama, I never agreed with your ideals and your goals of wanting to end everything whenever you want. So for me, that's enough. Now I will leave here. At that moment, Gon creates a large sphere of light to come out of planet Earth. At that moment, Gon's body is paralyzed and a huge blast of energy is released on Gon. Everyone is impressed. The High Priest just watches smiling and says,
I knew she wouldn't leave things that way.
At that moment, it was Vados. Vados, Gon's mother, launches a huge attack on her son. Gon, with his shirt torn apart, watches Vados and speaks. "Why did you do that? Get out of my way now." Vados says, "You'll only get out of here if you can beat me." An unusual encounter. Vados, the angel from Universe 6 who has extremely high powers, has finally shown her powers. Vados had sealed Cypher away. The Vados powers were very worn out due to all the battles she had already had at the start of the Celestial War. Vados doesn't accept Gon's change of personality. Vados advances directly to Gon and speaks. "Come on, stop it. Tell me who is manipulating you. Why are you doing this? You are not like this." Whis is seriously watching Gon and Vados fight. Beerus says, "Should we interfere, Whis?" Whis says, "It won't be necessary, Mr. Beerus." Vados speaks, "You came here to end this heavenly war and bring peace to all. How can you say that you want to turn against Zeno-sama and against the Great Priest?" At that moment, Gon speaks. "Haha, I think you misunderstood, Mom. In fact, you are not even my real mother. My mother is Vados, the celestial angel of Universe 3. I don't know at what point your connection is connected, but I will not respect your thoughts. My universe was completely devastated by several gods. Sometimes I wonder if my universe had been erased by Zeno-sama himself. If you would travel timelines to ask for my help like you did when you brought me, haha. Sometimes everything seems like a big hypocrisy. They are the ones who ended up turning against everyone in the truth. Zeno-sama being able to erase a universe whenever he wants is surreal. I will never accept this. I'm sure that as I get stronger, I'll be able to put an end to this whole war, so please get out of my way." At that moment, Vados raises her power even more and launches a great blast of energy at Gon. Vados says, "That's enough. If you don't want to come for good, you'll have to come for bad." Gon charges in directly and starts covering Vados with a barrage of punches. Gon says, "You're not fighting to kill me. You know very well that if you wanted to use a deadly technique, you could resolve this entire situation quickly. Or is it that you don't have the strength for it? Or that you don't have the courage to attack me?" Beerus beside Whis and the High Priest watch. The High Priest speaks. "What is that? I am not able to understand. It seems that this boy possesses more daring than he realized. That angelic energy of his still amazes me." Beerus says, "This boy was trained by me, and he trained directly in the room of the gods. He has powers that so far we don't fully know. I'm sure the Mother of Angels is aware of that. But he turns on all of us and still wants to fight Vados. It might be interesting to stop him by force." The High Priest observes and says, "Maybe not. Let's see where this goes. He is questioning the intervention of the gods, but so far the gods themselves have done nothing. This is all happening for mortals. Let's watch what will happen." At that moment, Goku was impressed with everything he saw. Vegeta just watched Goku. Vegeta speaks.
This kid is screwing everything up. I can't stand it. I'm gonna teach this kid a real lesson.
Gon advanced attacking Vados more and more, and Vados dodges with the mastery of her Ultra Instinct. At that instant, Gon says, "Good. I'm sorry, Mom, but I need to get out of here, and if you don't let me, I'm going to have to pull the real punch and stop you." At that moment, Vados starts to cry when she sees what Gon has become. Goku yells and says, "Vados-san, get out of there, or Gon might do something horrible. Gon, stop it!" At that moment, Vados charges directly at Gon. A big explosion begins to be created. Vados says, "That's not possible. He won't do it." Just as Gon was about to launch an attack on Vados, a glow appears over Zeno-sama's body. Goku advances directly to Gon and Goku prevents Gon's blow on Vados, but Goku's body was already completely pink, reminiscent of his Omni Infinity form but pink. At that instant, we can see that Goku merged with Zeno-sama's powers. Zeno's voice comes up and says,
Goku, you are very nice. This way we can fight even for a little while together.
Goku Zeno looks at Gon and speaks. Now it's over, Gon. Gon looks on with a look of astonishment and says, Father? Hahaha, good. I didn't want that, but it's getting interesting. Goku Zeno versus Gon. Zeno-sama's power finally combined with Goku's Omni power. After Goku managed for the first time to gather his celestial power by combining Omni energy, it was enough to defeat Banzarot and Zaki, the two who are considered the ultimate Saiyans. But for some reason, Goku combined his powers alongside Zeno-sama going to save Vados. Vados is Gon's mother from another timeline and didn't have the courage to use her power and attack her son. At that moment, Goku appears to save Vados and everyone starts to watch. Beerus says, What is Goku doing? Is he really going to get involved in this? At that moment, Vegeta watches and speaks.
Kakarot, do you see how many warriors are here? Even Zeno-sama beside the High Priest is watching everything. We can get into big trouble if you want to protect this kid. But what surprises me is why none of the celestial beings are getting involved in this fight.
Vegeta looks at the Great Priest and notices that Daishinkan has a smile on his face. Daishinkan, since the beginning of the Celestial War, is a very mysterious and cautious being. Whis watches and says,
You must be wondering why all this is happening, right? Mr. Vegeta, at this moment, you can see that Gon had the courage to attack an angel, but the High Priest himself and everyone else is thinking about what to do because, like it or not, Gon is also an angel. Angels cannot fight each other. If the angels fight, a great catastrophe will occur. But Vados, without thinking twice, ended up wanting to help Gon. The High Priest himself must be wondering, but at the same time, Zeno-sama's power is now being matched alongside the power of Lord Goku. What will Mr. Goku with that power do with Gon?
At that moment, Goku begins to increase his power more and more in his combined form with Zeno-sama and lands a big punch on Gon. Gon dashes forward and falls directly to the rubble of Earth. At that moment, Gon says, Well, looks like you're not taking it easy on me, Dad. Haha, is that Zeno-sama's power? I confess that I am a little surprised. According to what I had been told, that Zeno-sama's powers were only strong in terms of magic or to eradicate something, not that he was good at exchanging punches. Since that's how I'm going to increase my power even more. At that moment, Gon increases his power even more and increases his muscle mass even more. Gon starts to smile and says, There's no way you're going to let me go, are you? Haha, so let's get started. Goku and Gon were having a big battle. Punches were exchanged and big attacks were launched. At that moment, Gohan, who was watching, says, I don't understand. If we were doing all this in order to rescue Gon, why is he now appearing in front of us? It doesn't actually look like he wants to be saved. He's just trying to destroy everything and everyone. I can't understand why this is happening. His personality change was surreal. At that instant, Gon launches a huge blast of energy at Goku. The power that was being emanated, combined with Zeno-sama's energy, managed to stow all the power that Gon released. Goku says, Gon, stop it now. Let's end this war together. Let's resolve this situation. It's impossible. You won't be able to defeat me. Remember all our training in the room of the gods. I can still take care of all this stuff going on. Stop it right now, Gon. At that moment, Gon makes a serious face and says, I think you still don't realize what's really going on. You still don't understand what's really going to happen. Haha, you think I will be defeated just because you managed to combine your powers with Zeno's powers? Do you think I'll lose? Don't make me laugh, Dad. Haha. Your eradication technique doesn't work against me. I already told you, I have no intention of doing away with anyone who is here. My only goal is to show real power and be able to end this war in the future. You and my mother have nothing to do with all these catastrophes that are happening. I will finish off all the enemies that come. All celestial beings end up making decisions that are very boring and that can, over time, become more and more wrong. Do you really think the ideals they were holding are correct? Goku makes a serious face and Gon concludes. They want to erase everything whenever they want. The sense of justice is totally spoiled, believing mortals are mere puppets. This makes no sense and cannot happen, so just listen to me and pay close attention. I'll sort it all out here and now. Leave me alone, I won't do anything with you for now. Goku continues watching and speaks. It looks like he has no choice. It will have to be the worst way. Goku creates a gigantic Kamehameha to launch at Gon. Vados appears in front of Goku and says, "Stop it, Son Goku. If you do that, there might be no turning back and the worst could happen to you, Gon." At that moment, Goku watches and says that, "You are not thinking very well, Vados-san. If we let Gon continue with this madness, then even the gods will not be able to forgive him." At that moment, Gon starts laughing and speaks. "Then that's it. Y'all aren't thinking about what I'm wanting to decide and much less don't trust me. The only thing you want is for the gods not to be mad at me. I already said that I already made my decision and much less that I don't trust the decision of the gods, so don't get in my way. I am now going to show you the true power and true energy that I can reach." At that moment, Gon looks at Goku and speaks. "Supreme Angelical Kamehameha!" At that moment, Goku is extremely impressed and speaks. "What? Do you also know this technique?" At that moment, a big Kamehameha was being launched at Goku. Goku takes the full blow. Gon smiles and says, "I know very well that this is not enough to defeat you, but I'm tired. Next time we all see each other, I may not be as friendly as I was here." At that moment, Vados watched and Goku deactivated his combination transformation with Zeno-sama. At that moment, Gon enters through the temporal rift and goes directly to the palace of the great priestess Zakai. All are silent on Earth. Vados doesn't say a word. Vegeta watches Goku alongside Beerus and Whis. At that moment, Daishinkan and all the gods start to observe Goku and Vados and say, "Looks like you needed to see it to believe what I said, wasn't it, Son Goku? What will your decision-making be now?" At that moment, Goku looks at Zeno-sama and speaks. "Zenshan, thank you so much for combining your powers with me. I know that together we could grow more and more. Trust me as you did in the Tournament of Power that I will put an end to this war. I don't know what's going on with Gon, but I will bring it back." Vados looks at Goku, still impressed by the Saiyan's decision. Vados starts to smile. Vegeta watches and speaks.
This guy is very hard-headed. Even though the boy has defied the gods, he's still on that brat's side. Haha, just like yourself, Kakarot.
At that instant, directly in the palace of the High Priestess Zakai, Gon had arrived. Zakai sees Gon's clothes all destroyed and smiles. Gon says, "I need a shower. I need to recover a bit. Going to Earth is never so friendly. They didn't take it very well that I wasn't coming back, but now it's all settled. I already told you that the next time we see each other, I won't be so friendly." High Priestess Zakai starts to laugh. Fantastic. Goku Zeno vs Gon. Zeno-sama's power finally combined with Goku's Omni power. After Goku managed for the first time to gather his celestial power by combining Omni energy, it was enough to defeat Banzarot and Zaki, the two who are considered the ultimate Saiyans. But for some reason, Goku combined his powers alongside Zeno-sama going to save Vados. Vados is Gon's mother from another timeline and didn't have the courage to use her power and attack her son. At that moment, Goku appears to save Vados and everyone starts to watch. Beerus says, "What is Goku doing?" Is he really going to get involved in this? At that moment, Vegeta watches and speaks.
Kakarot, do you see how many warriors are here? Even Zeno-sama beside the High Priest is watching everything. We can get into big trouble if you want to protect this kid. But what surprises me is why none of the celestial beings are getting involved in this fight.
Vegeta looks at the Great Priest and notices that Daishinkan has a smile on his face. Daishinkan, since the beginning of the Celestial War, is a very mysterious and cautious being. Whis watches and says,
You must be wondering why all this is happening, right? Mr. Vegeta, at this moment, you can see that Gon had the courage to attack an angel, but the High Priest himself and everyone else is thinking about what to do because, like it or not, Gon is also an angel. Angels cannot fight each other. If the angels fight, a great catastrophe will occur. But Vados, without thinking twice, ended up wanting to help Gon. The High Priest himself must be wondering, but at the same time, Zeno-sama's power is now being matched alongside the power of Lord Goku. What will Mr. Goku with that power do with Gon?
At that moment, Goku begins to increase his power more and more in his combined form with Zeno-sama and lands a big punch on Gon. Gon dashes forward and falls directly to the rubble of Earth. At that moment, Gon says, Well, looks like you're not taking it easy on me, Dad. Haha, is that Zeno-sama's power? I confess that I am a little surprised. According to what I had been told, that Zeno-sama's powers were only strong in terms of magic or to eradicate something, not that he was good at exchanging punches. Since that's how I'm going to increase my power even more. At that moment, Gon increases his power even more and increases his muscle mass even more. Gon starts to smile and says, There's no way you're going to let me go, are you? Haha, so let's get started. Goku and Gon were having a big battle. Punches were exchanged and big attacks were launched. At that moment, Gohan, who was watching, says, I don't understand. If we were doing all this in order to rescue Gon, why is he now appearing in front of us? It doesn't actually look like he wants to be saved. He's just trying to destroy everything and everyone. I can't understand why this is happening. His personality change was surreal. At that instant, Gon launches a huge blast of energy at Goku. The power that was being emanated, combined with Zeno-sama's energy, managed to stow all the power that Gon released. Goku says, Gon, stop it now. Let's end this war together. Let's resolve this situation. It's impossible. You won't be able to defeat me. Remember all our training in the Room of the Gods. I can still take care of all this stuff going on. Stop it right now, Gon. At that moment, Gon makes a serious face and says, I think you still don't realize what's really going on. You still don't understand what's really going to happen. Haha, you think I will be defeated just because you managed to combine your powers with Zeno's powers? Do you think I'll lose? Don't make me laugh, Dad. Haha, your eradication technique doesn't work against me. I already told you, I have no intention of doing away with anyone who is here. My only goal is to show real power and be able to end this war in the future. You and my mother have nothing to do with all these catastrophes that are happening. I will finish off all the enemies that come. All celestial beings end up making decisions that are very boring and that can, over time, become more and more wrong. Do you really think the ideals they were holding are correct? Goku makes a serious face and Gon concludes. They want to erase everything whenever they want. The sense of justice is totally spoiled, believing mortals are mere puppets. This makes no sense and cannot happen, so just listen to me and pay close attention. I'll sort it all out here and now. Leave me alone, I won't do anything with you for now. Goku continues watching and speaks. It looks like he has no choice. It will have to be the worst way. Goku creates a gigantic Kamehameha to launch at Gon. Vados appears in front of Goku and says, Stop it, Son Goku. If you do that, there might be no turning back and the worst could happen to you, Gon. At that moment, Goku watches and says that, You are not thinking very well, Vados-san. If we let Gon continue with this madness, then even the gods will not be able to forgive him. At that moment, Gon starts laughing and speaks. Then that's it. Y'all aren't thinking about what I'm wanting to decide and much less don't trust me. The only thing you want is for the gods not to be mad at me. I already said that I already made my decision and much less that I don't trust the decision of the gods, so don't get in my way. I am now going to show you the true power and true energy that I can reach. At that moment, Gon looks at Goku and speaks. Supreme Angelical Kamehameha! At that moment, Goku is extremely impressed and speaks. What? Do you also know this technique? At that moment, a big Kamehameha was being launched at Goku. Goku takes the full blow. Gon smiles and says, I know very well that this is not enough to defeat you, but I'm tired. Next time we all see each other, I may not be as friendly as I was here. At that moment, Vados watched and Goku deactivated his combination transformation with Zeno-sama. At that moment, Gon enters through the temporal rift and goes directly to the palace of the great priestess Zakai. All are silent on Earth. Vados doesn't say a word. Vegeta watches Goku alongside Beerus and Whis. At that moment, Daishinkan and all the gods start to observe Goku and Vados and say, Looks like you needed to see it to believe what I said, wasn't it, Son Goku? What will your decision-making be now? At that moment, Goku looks at Zeno-sama and speaks. Zenshan, thank you so much for combining your powers with me. I know that together we could grow more and more. Trust me as you did in the Tournament of Power that I will put an end to this war. I don't know what's going on with Gon, but I will bring it back. Vados looks at Goku, still impressed by the Saiyan's decision. Vados starts to smile. Vegeta watches and speaks.
This guy is very hard-headed. Even though the boy has defied the gods, he's still on that brat's side. Haha, just like yourself, Kakarot.
At that instant, directly in the palace of the High Priestess Zakai, Gon had arrived. Zakai sees Gon's clothes all destroyed and smiles. Gon says, I need a shower. I need to recover a bit. Going to Earth is never so friendly. They didn't take it very well that I wasn't coming back, but now it's all settled. I already told you that the next time we see each other, I won't be so friendly. High Priestess Zakai starts to laugh. Fantastic. Goku Omni God along with Vegeta are training in the Room of the Gods. The Hall of the Gods is where only the most powerful train on the planet Beerus. Beerus, for some reason, since the beginning of the Celestial War, decided to train in the Room of the Gods after Gon declared that he would be at Sakai's side. Gon returned to the Grand Priestess's palace, but at the same time, Goku and the other warriors had already decided that they would invade the Grand Priestess's palace, but they would carry out their last training before the second stage of the Celestial War. At that moment, great thunderous noises begin to occur in the Room of the Gods. Whis outside the Room of the Gods says, It seems that Mr. Goku and Mr. Vegeta decided to get stronger and stronger. His powers really come to frighten anyone who is outside realizing all this. Does that mean that Mr. Goku's power can rise through the essence of Yamoshi? I remember even now how strong Mr. Goku and Mr. Vegeta were when they started training with me. First, Mr. Goku only had his God form, which was necessary to fight with a percentage of the strength of Mr. Beerus. Then he managed to develop his power even more and rose to the level of Super Saiyan Blue. Mr. Vegeta too, but then Mr. Goku managed to activate his Kaioken form. It seems that Mr. Goku has always been one step ahead of Mr. Vegeta, which made the two each time be able to get stronger. It sure got more and more interesting, but still, right after all that, things started to get better. I could see that Mr. Goku, after fighting and showing more and more power, Mr. Vegeta managed to reach a totally different level. Mr. Vegeta managed to show his Ultra Ego. The Ultra Ego is that transformation that is the only one that can fight head-on with the God of Destruction himself on equal terms. But still, these two elevate their powers more and more. But when we start to analyze the difference between the power of a prodigy and the power of someone who always fights to get stronger, it's surreal. I could see that when Gohan fought Cell Max, perhaps his powers were greater than even Mr. Goku and Mr. Vegeta. Speaking of you, what are you doing now, Son Gohan, the prodigy? Has he managed to infiltrate the Makai kingdom yet? Gohan and Piccolo were prepared to infiltrate the Makai realm. Due to Gohan and Piccolo not having the teleportation technique, the two had to use Bulma's ship to be able to use the technology and go to the Makai kingdom. At that moment, Gohan says, "Mr. Piccolo, it looks like we're going to have quite a challenge going forward. Big enemies will want to show up here and show off their powers. I'm sure we'll be able to get much stronger, but the Celestial War is close to reaching its new stage, so we need to quickly get this task done for Mr. Whis. I'm sure that in this Makai realm there are extremely powerful beings, but we don't want to expand this war any further. We need to bring Majin Buu's essence back to be able to make this warrior a great help in the Celestial War. There are many demons in this realm. We cannot let this end up causing the biggest catastrophe." At that moment, Gohan was already getting ready alongside Piccolo, arriving with Bulma's ship directly in the Makai kingdom. Great debris began to be thrown into that kingdom. Gohan and Piccolo arrive at the Makai kingdom. At that moment, Gohan says, "What a weird place is this? This place is totally unlike any other place I've ever been." At that instant, Piccolo says,
I think that's because you only died once and resurrected very quickly in the Majin Buu explosion. I've been involved in several realms for a while now because I didn't die just once. Whenever this happened, I had to analyze several questions. Here it is very similar to the Hell realm. In this realm, many enemies from the past may return, and many creators or beings of darkness may appear. So we need to think a lot about saving our energy a lot. Do you remember what happened when we tried to fight already using all our strength with Banzarot and Zaki? Those two were formidable, but I'm sure that if I had controlled my energy more, I would have managed to defeat him and you too. You know that very well, don't you, Gohan?
Gohan starts to smile and says, "Well done, Mr. Piccolo. I'm sure this all will be resolved." In a few moments, a great moon appears. A voice speaks.
Well done, Gohan. How long have I not seen you?
At that moment, Piccolo observes Gohan and says,
What? Impossible.
At that moment, the image of Cell Max appears. Gohan speaks. What? This is Cell Max. Only he is talking. When we defeated him, he just screamed. At that moment, Piccolo observes and says,
So that means that's it. The realm of Makaioshin marks, as it was said before, they can do whatever they want. All the beings we've already eliminated end up coming back. With Cell Max, it would be no different. Good. What do you want here, Cell?
Cell Max, smiling, looks at Gohan and Piccolo and says,
Ha ha ha! I should ask this question. After all, it is you who are here in my kingdom. What do you want here? Don't say you want to break up with me again. Well, know that here in the Makai kingdom, we have the opportunity to raise our powers more and more. So if I show my true strength, I will definitely be much stronger than you two, because I was only defeated because the two fought together against me. That's enough. If I want now, I will defeat you. It's not interesting.
At that moment, Gohan starts watching and speaks. I think you misunderstood what happened last time, but if that's what you want, I don't mind showing you my true powers. Know that I got much stronger, Cell. Cell Max starts laughing, and already with an intelligence in his body unlike before, he runs out to attack Gohan and Piccolo. Gohan activates his beast mode. Piccolo manages to directly activate his Namekian god form. Gohan speaks. Mr. Piccolo, can you already have control over this transformation? Piccolo watches and speaks.
Well, I don't know what happens, but after I was healed by Goku, I don't know if it's Goku's energy is under my body, but the control of this transformation became totally different. It feels like me and the Namek God in me are managing to cooperate. At that moment, Cell Max says, "Looks like you got a lot stronger." Gohan starts to exchange several punches with Cell, and Piccolo starts to dodge and attack Cell Max. Cell Max says, "I think it would be crazy to fight the two of you together. I don't have much intention of fighting with you. I already understood how these powers worked. I don't want to die a second time. My potential is still not 100%. Before, I think my objective was something else. I've always been a perfect android, but now I understand that your powers are much greater. Maybe I'm looking for the power of perfection." Gohan and Piccolo are surprised. At that moment, Cell starts to walk backwards. When Cell is about to leave the Makai location, a big explosion happens. An energy ray is crossed by Cell's front. Cell dodges and says, "What is that?" At that moment, another being appears in front of Gohan and Piccolo and says,
Let's see if we don't have a visitor here. This is getting more and more interesting. Two mortals coming to the Makai realm. You must be very powerful, or you must be very crazy.
Gohan starts to smile next to Piccolo and speaks. "Looks like there's no way, Mr. Piccolo. The battle yearns for us. Whoever this guy is, let's take him down." The unknown voice in the Makai realm appeared in front of Gohan and Piccolo, looking at Cell Max with awareness that he had appeared in front of Gohan. The unknown voice says, "You mean that Earth warriors decided to infiltrate the Makai kingdom? You must surely be crazy. My power level goes far beyond any other level you can imagine. Here in this realm, there are beings that have already been destroyed in the past, and there are beings that can eliminate anyone they want. You have no idea what trouble you got into coming here. But tell me before you die, what do you want here in this kingdom?" At that moment, Gohan observes and speaks. "We didn't come here to bother you. We are only here because we need the essence of the powers of a warrior who was slain on Earth in the past. According to the angel of our universe, he said that we need to take the powers and essence of this warrior to be able to help in a war." At that moment, the unknown being says, "Well, let me introduce myself. I am Bakura, one of the demons of the Makai realm. I don't think we've been introduced, but you must be from Universe 7. Damn, Whis sure sent you here. Funny why an angel wouldn't want to come to the Makai realm. You must wonder why angels are natural enemies of us demons. So he preferred to send you mortals to solve this situation. Especially because if he came, he wouldn't have a shred of chance that his angelic powers would end up running out inside the King of Makai. Do you, under Whis, believe you would have the power to defeat me? This can only be a joke. Know that for you to get the essence of the warrior you want, the first step would be to beat me, and then you would have the chance to get close to the king's palace. He is the only one who can bestow this energy on you. This is the king's palace. What will you do to make this happen?" Gohan watches and speaks. "It seems like there's no way. A friendly conversation couldn't go well with this guy. Come on, Master Piccolo." "Alright, partner. Why don't you whack that like button and subscribe to the channel so you don't miss any videos and stay well inside our entire universe of Z Warriors. Let's get back to the point." Gohan had activated his beast mode form. Piccolo already had his enhanced transformation. Cell Max notes and says, "It looks like it will be interesting to watch this battle. Even though I'm here in this Makai realm, it's like the realm of hell. But unlike before, I don't know why my soul was brought here. The last time I died, I had been taken to hell and stayed there with warriors who had been killed. But this time it was totally different.
Those warriors who claim to be from the Makai realm brought me here. It seems that many things are changing, but I can't let them break me again. I need to analyze everything, and the best side I can be on will be the one I will ally with. Son Gohan, I hope you got a lot stronger. I would like to see how far you perform. Good, but come on, show me what you're capable of.
At that moment, Gohan steps forward to try to attack Bakura, the demon from the Makai realm. At that moment, Bakura starts dodging with great dexterity and says,
You have a somewhat different power. It's not even a skill of Ultra Ego or Ultra Instinct. What kind of power is this?
At that moment, Gohan starts laughing and says, I call this type of skill Beast Mode because that's my best form. Gohan starts attacking the Makai demon. The Makai demon dodges and tries to hit Gohan directly. A hand appears in front of him. In that instant, it was Piccolo. Piccolo watches and speaks.
You are fighting the two of us, so pay close attention to the movement you make, because I won't let you hurt a friend of mine.
At that moment, Gohan watched everything that was happening. Gohan speaks. Haha, Mr. Piccolo, please just let me fight this guy. I'm sure this guy doesn't have great powers. I alone will take care of him. Bakura watches and says,
How dare you? Who do you think you are?
Gohan watches and says, You know, there's a celestial war going on Earth, and I fought against beings that were extremely powerful, beings that could destroy anything the moment they wanted to. I had to raise my power even to a much higher stage level. I've always had a slip up in battles of being arrogant against the enemy. But this time, I will fight you seriously from the beginning. I'm not joking around. I entered this kingdom exactly to carry out a mission that Mr. Whis assigned me, and the future of Earth and all other universes depend on us. So I will not let you do anything against my friends. At that moment, Cell Max started watching and smiling and says,
This boy's determination and insight remain the same. This is interesting. Let's see, son Gohan, what level you will reach and what kind of power you will be able to show. I confess that I am very curious to know what you will be able to do in the face of this. Show me. I want to know what your maximum power level will be.
At that moment, Gohan performs a big Kamehameha in his beast form and says, I will never let you guys get this situation resolved. I'll take care of all that. Gohan inexplicably manages to perform an instant transmission and lands a big Kamehameha on Bakura. Bakura says,
What was that? How does this boy possess this strength? This is far beyond what I could have imagined. How did he manage to do this?
Piccolo watches and speaks.
When did you learn Goku's teleport skill? How did you manage to reach this level of power? You never told me anything about it.
Gohan started laughing and said, I kept some techniques a secret. These guys won't be able to defeat us. Bakura is your name, isn't it? We have no intention of killing him. The only thing we really need is to know where the essence of the demon Majin Buu is. At that moment, Bakura, lying on the ground, observes and speaks.
You want to know where the essence of the demon Majin Buu is? You two must be crazy. As I said, all this is found in the king's palace. I am the weakest demon in this Makai realm. So if you want to get to the king's palace, you will have to fight several powerful demons.
Piccolo watches and speaks.
Does that mean then that this guy is just a lackey?
Bakura, lying on the ground, faints. At that moment, Gohan speaks. Damn, he passed out. How are we going to find this king's palace in this world full of rubble? Wait, Mr. Piccolo, where is number 17? At that moment, a great laugh arises. Gohan and Piccolo look at Cell Max. Cell Max says,
I will help them.
Gohan and Piccolo make a scared face and say, What? Meanwhile, in the north of the Makai kingdom, another ship is teleported. Gon next to the angel Zyros appears. Zyros, smiling, says, Ha ha ha, Who knew you and I would be walking together without me having to control you with the kiss of death, isn't it, Gon? Haha, this is fantastic. Finally you understand which side you should be on. Well, we finally got to the Makai kingdom. My angelic powers are extremely weak here in this realm, but for you to survive, my help will be needed here in this place. It feels like my whole body has weakened. It seems that the Makai realm still has a barrier against angels. After all, it is the realm of demons.
Gon begins to feel a great weakness. Gon says, "It seems that part of my angelic power is totally weak. I think I just have my Saiyan energy." Zero starts laughing and says,
So, it will be very interesting. Good luck, Gon.
Gon and Zyros arrive at the Makai realm.
Gohan and Piccolo had finished their battles within the Makai realm, so Max for some reason accompanied Gohan and Piccolo. At that moment, Gon, the third son of Son Goku, had arrived with Angel Zyros from Universe 13 directly in the Makai realm. The two will soon intersect. Son Goku's two sons, hybrid Saiyan Gohan and Gon. While the events for the second stage of the Celestial War are close to unfold, Gohan and Piccolo continue their journey into Makai realm, but Goku and Vegeta finish their training inside the Room of the Gods. At that moment, Beerus, who had also trained in the Room of the Gods, ended with his training. Whis would start watching and says,
"It seems that they are not satisfied with everything that happened. They want to get much more powerful, and from what I'm seeing, the performance and power level they managed to reach is totally surreal. So that's it. That's all your power. This fight looks like it's going to get more and more interesting."
Goku leaves the Room of the Gods on Beerus' planet, next to Vegeta. The two looked like they had an entirely different look on their faces. Whis says,
"You trained in the Room of Gods. It seems that after you discovered this place, you prefer to train here instead of the Time Chamber. The Room of the Gods is a place where the division between heaven and hell or between life and death is made. I confess that I'm very curious to know what the result of all this is. What happened to Mr. Goku?"
At that moment, Goku starts laughing and says,
"Oh, I don't know what happened to us in that training, Mr. Whis, but for a long time I had to intersperse several transformations. It wore my body out too much. By the time I managed to attain my essential form of Ultra Instinct, only with the power of Ultra Instinct I achieve a new transformation in the Room of the Gods."
Vegeta starts laughing and says, "Come on, Kakarot, you worm. Reveal soon the power you've learned that goes beyond the comprehension of the gods." At that moment, Whis watches and speaks.
"Very insightful, Mr. Goku. I confess that I believe that you must have become much more powerful too, don't you, Mr. Vegeta?"
Vegeta starts laughing and says, "I believe things will get more interesting from now on. I will not reveal my power yet. Unlike Kakarot, I will use it against these vermin to end this war."
Goku says, "After seeing Banzarot's transformation and that Angel Kai next to Zack, I realized that we would need to get much stronger. So I already know that my energy needs to increase more and more. In this way, I managed to reach the level that no one has ever achieved, Mr. Whis. Now, before we begin, please have a fight with me one last time." Whis starts to smile and says, "Oh, what makes you think you could beat me or fight me? The first time we fought, with just one finger I was able to stop you and Mr. Vegeta." Goku responds, "Rest assured, I guarantee things will be different now."
Goku versus Whis. Now on Earth, all warriors train and prepare to raise their powers even more. Unlike before, the Earth in Universe 7 who would lead the Celestial Invasion, there were all the other most powerful warriors from all universes. Caulifla, Jiren, and Hit performed their training alongside the Z Warriors. Hit says, "It looks like this will all come out for us. This fight won't be easy, but I confess that I'm very excited to fight these guys in the Celestial War." Does that mean there's a Saiyan as powerful as Goku? Goku's son is also looking to fight. Vado said we could take care of it. Now the story will be different, because we who will invade the enemy's camp, probably the victory will be ours. He'd begun to increase his power more and more by training alongside Jiren and Caulifla. Planet Beerus, large rumblings began to occur. We can see that Goku has been fighting Whis seriously. Goku throws Whis' bodies away. Whis says,
This won't do any good, Mr. Goku. I think it better show the way you're talking so much.
At that moment, Goku starts laughing and says, so now you will know my true power, Lord Whis. At that moment, Goku starts to raise his power of Ultra Instinct, and unlike before, his hair starts to turn all silver, and his body is also combined with the energy of Ultra Instinct. At that moment, Whis begins to observe and speaks.
Mr. Goku looks totally different. It seems that this time he combined his most powerful energy and joined his entire body with the power of Ultra Instinct. Fantastic! Does that mean that Mr. Goku got an even more beautiful power than before? Well then, Mr. Goku, show what level you can reach.
At that moment, Goku, raising his power more and more, starts to charge and hit several punches under Whis. Whis tries to dodge, but for the first time, Whis weakens fighting Goku. Whis says,
You mean this is the power of a legendary god? Incredible!
Vegeta continues looking at the battle of Goku and says, so Kakarot really believes he's superior to an angel? You bastard! Don't think that's enough to stop me! Once I raise all my power, you will know my true strength! Kakarot, you worm! Vegeta continues watching, but with a different look, and starts to smile seeing the battle of Goku. At that moment, Whis advances and starts to land several blows directly on Goku. Goku gets up laughing and says, Mr. Whis, it's no use. That's not enough. You can't beat me like that. At that moment, Goku creates a large Kamehameha and throws it at it. Kamehameha! The battle begins to extend. Whis, smiling, says,
Now you're going to make me fight seriously, Mr. Goku. This is so fun. Now I'm going all out.
Big blows begin to shake the planet Beerus, shocking galaxies, and time ends up passing. In the blink of an eye, the night appears. Goku continues to fight Whis. Time goes on. At that moment, a great light appears directly on the planet of the God of Destruction. Vegeta says, What's going on? Gohan and Piccolo emerge straight from Whis' celestial cube directly on the planet of Destruction. Goku and Piccolo appear. Gohan speaks. What are you doing? Whis stops his attack against Goku. Whis, smiling, says,
But what happened here? You already managed to reach Son Gohan.
At that moment, Gohan, with his clothes all torn apart, speaks.
What are you talking about, Mr. Whis? How long have you been training? I've been away for 10 days? Whis speaks. So it seems that this fight of ours lasts for 10 days. And we ended up not even noticing Mr. Goku. You did great, Mr. Goku. You managed to fight head-to-head with an angel for all this time.
Goku starts to smile and says,
Time passed. That I didn't even notice.
And Whis speaks.
But why did it take so long?
Gohan appears and speaks.
We had a big accident. We needed to recover the Majin energy, but Gon was next to another extremely powerful angel. And then we needed to fight, but it seemed Gon's goal was to rescue someone in the Makai realm. And we also had unexpected help, and with that, we were able to recover the Majin energy. But Gon is even more powerful, and unlike before, his PD level is very low. If it weren't for the trap we set for him, we might have ended up with each other.
Goku and Whis watch. At that instant, a great voice arises and speaks. Well, if it wasn't for me to decide to help them, maybe everything would be the end. Good thing I knew the entire Makai realm. We just needed to exchange favors for me to return to this world. At that moment, Cell Max appears in front of Goku and Vegeta. Goku says, What? Cell? Goku and Whis' battle was interrupted by Gohan and Piccolo, who had just arrived on the planet of destruction. It looks like Gon ended up causing a major catastrophe within the Makai realm. 10 days had passed and Goku was fighting Whis. At that moment, Gohan appeared and explained everything that had happened inside the Makai realm. Goku is impressed and says,
Does that mean that Gon is really hard-headed? Gohan explained that on his path with Piccolo, they managed to recover their Majin energy due to the interest of Gon and Zaidos being different. Gohan managed to fight Gon due to the Gon not being able to activate his angelic powers in the demon realm. Gon managed to accomplish his goals, which was to bring back the Dark Wizard. Whis says, "You mean they brought Makai back? Maybe we will have some problems in the future." Oh, no, poor universe. Goku interrupts and says, "I'm sure he's not like that. He must have been manipulated or ended up falling into that Mother of Angels story. Well, that doesn't matter, because now I'm sure you have the power to end this war and bring him back. This is going to get more and more interesting. Isn't it, Vegeta?" Vegeta starts to smile and speaks.
Alright, Kakarot, let's take these guys now.
Gohan had regained his energy after Whis released a huge recovery energy into his body. Piccolo was watching everything that was happening and says,
It seems like that in Makai realm, there were several extremely powerful enemies, but thanks to our escape route, we managed to escape and everyone came out well. Therefore, I can't understand what Cell is wanting here with us, but I'm sure he won't get as much as he wants to attack us. So Max, that android that called himself the perfect android that on several occasions almost destroyed the entire Earth, is back with goals that are still unknown.
Cell is watching and says, I don't want anything to do with you. After all, I've been defeated twice. My perfect form really becomes imperfect when compared to Saiyan powers. But I still need to understand even more about the essence of everything. That Makai kingdom was pretty boring. It would be great to get back to my essence. Vegeta starts to face Cell Max and is face to face with Cell and speaks.
If you even think about doing anything like that Frieza minion, I'll finish you off myself.
A massive explosion on the planet Beerus occurs. Beerus leaves the room of the gods. Beerus says,
It seems that now my energy is rejuvenated. I'm invincible! I know you got much stronger, Goku and Vegeta, but I know that the god of destruction fears no one.
Goku smiles and speaks. Mr. Beerus, you've gotten a lot more powerful, haven't you? Beerus responds,
I just regained the essence of my son Goku's strength.
Beerus looks at Whis and says,
I believe the big moment has arrived.
Whis watches and says, So are you going to start acting, Mr. Beerus? Beerus smiles. Beerus creates several dimensional portals at the location of all Z fighters.
Daishinkan and Zeno-sama left Universe 7 in charge of taking care of all this, so it doesn't matter to me if it's Goku's son or whoever wants to threaten us. Let's invade the Heavenly Realm and kick Pristius Sakai's ass. That was the mission that the High Priest gave us.
Hey, how's it going? Moments pass in a great portal. It is created in all places in the universe, set where the warriors from the other universe were training. Darren alongside Het and Caulifly start to smile and enter through the portal. Gohan and Piccolo alongside Goku and Vegeta and Beerus enter through another portal. The most powerful warriors were already preparing for the great battle. It seems that the moment of the final battle is about to arrive. Palace of the High Priest Sakai. Sakai smiling watched everything that was happening.
Incredible!
Sakai knew that the great enemies would be able to appear and show their powers once more. Sakai says, Does that really mean they really decided to invade here? You see, Safer, with you sealed, we couldn't create the angelic barrier to stop them. Things could get a lot more intriguing. Can you see all this going on, Kai? The Kai says, It seems that the time has finally arrived when I will show Son Goku's true strength. They say he's the most powerful, isn't he? So nothing better than the most powerful fighting the strongest angel. I'm excited. At that moment, we can see Yujiro next to Zaki and Banzarot, all recovered and with 100% energy for battle. Banzarot speak. Now those Saiyans from Universe 7 will pay me back for everything they've done. I'm going to break every bone in those wretches and I'm going to wipe all of them. Gon appears and says, You are very annoying. Does that mean they came here? I'll finish them off myself now. Just as Gohan is about to go meet all the other invaders, Zakai says, "Do not do that, Gohan. You will not do this. The time has come for us to open the portal. The great mage Makai is with us. Now we have the main key." Makai, the wizard who was brought by Gohan through the Makai kingdom, wakes up and says, "I'm finally free. I owe you, Sakai." At that moment, Gohan says, "Finally, the big moment arrived." Kai watches and speaks. Does that mean the great mother of angels will really want to summon him? The great god Zarama, creator of the Super Dragon Ball? I hope you guys know what you're doing. Gohan and Zakai alongside Makai enter a portal of the Heavenly Realm. At that moment, at the gate of Zakai Heavenly Realm, Zaki and Banzarot appear. Goku and Vegeta alongside Beerus watch and talk. "We've come to rescue Gohan and end this war. I think you better give up." At that moment, while Cauliflower, Jiren, and Hit were in another portal arriving at the Celestial Realm, a big explosion happens and a voice comes out. The voice says, "I won't let you get any further. I'm here to stop you." At that moment, Yujiro appears in front of Cauliflower and Jiren. Jiren seriously says,
Looks like you're the first of all of them. We'll have to get the cosmic dust out of here.
Gohan and Piccolo, for some reason, they ended up appearing in another location in the Celestial Kingdom. Gohan says, "What's going on? Why are we here?" A great voice arises and speaks. "Let's see if we don't have another Saiyan and an Namekian race wanting to be eliminated. That would be very interesting. I confess that I wanted to see Goku, but it looks like that's how it's going down now. You must be crazy to have the guts to come all this way. We have 100% of our energy in this place. Let me introduce myself. I'm Zaiko, the ultimate Saiyan." Gohan watches Zaiko and says, "Well, by the looks of it, I'll have to show you my true strength now." That makes me excited. At that moment, Goku and Vegeta and Beerus exit the portal.
I think this time we took these guys out now.
Goku watching speaks. "Mr. Beerus, please, I need to test my new powers. These guys are already pissed off. Does that mean they are at 100% power? Perfect. Now I will show 100% of my strength." Goku activates his final form. Banzarot beside Zaki observes and speaks. Does that mean that this is Son Goku's true strength? Interesting. Let's get started. At that time, in another location of the Heavenly Kingdom, Whis and Vados appears. Whis says, "I think it's about time we started acting. The angels will start to show their true strength, and the two of us will be the first to attack, sister." Vado smiles and replies, "Now I will teach the Mother of Angels a good lesson." The second phase of the Celestial War has finally begun. Goku managed to increase his powers more and more, and showed that the supreme energy of Zaki and Banzarot, the most powerful Saiyans that have ever been shown on the face of the earth. Meanwhile, on Earth, Krillin and the other Z-Warriors who stayed on Earth started talking. Krillin says, "It seems like this is madness. Angels and demons facing each other and the most powerful beings in the universe entrusting their energies to mortals? That's crazy." Bulma watched all the conversation of the warriors next to Chi-Chi and said, "If Zeno-sama is so powerful alongside this Daishikan, why don't they end this war themselves? If something happens to Vegeta, they'll see." Chi-Chi answers, "I do say so myself. Goku and Gohan are risking their lives and they sit and watch." The warriors who did not infiltrate the palace of the High Priestess Sakai found themselves training with different warriors from other universes. Goten alongside Trunks trained with Kaba and Kale. Kaba is flattered to learn that Trunks is Vegeta's son. Trunks says, "Exactly. My father is the prince of all Saiyans, and that's why he will never be defeated. My father trains every day and gets more powerful. These Supreme Saiyans or this Mother of Angels will never manage to defeat them." Goten speaks. "That's right. Mr. Vegeta and my father are the greatest. My brother has also accomplished incredible things and managed to kill a very powerful demon in the past called Cell." At that moment, a great laugh begins to rise in the earth. Cell Max appears and speaks. "Did anyone call me?" Everyone gets scared and says, "It's not possible. Cell? Are you here?" Cell responds,
I am here, but right now I have no interest in defeating you. But I have changed my mind soon and end up destroying everything around here. Isn't that amazing? I hope you are able to understand. In the absence of all Saiyans, I will be the ruler of this universe, and therefore you must obey me. At that moment, Cell feels a great atmospheric pressure on his body. He gets on his knees and says, "Impossible! Who is here?" Everyone starts watching. At that moment, Black Frieza alongside Broly Berserker appear. Broly says, "Now I understand why Mr. Whis said it would be better for me to stay on Earth. Worms like you could emerge from the Makai realm. If you dare to lay a finger on any mortal, I will make sure you regret ever returning from the demon realm." Black Frieza smiles and says, "I'm sorry, Cell, but orders are orders, and I gave my word that I would help Beerus and Whis on this war. If I did not just said that like a maniac, I will repeat everything I said." "I'm sorry, Cell, but orders are orders. I gave my word that I would help Beerus and Whis in this war."
So Max starts to smile and says,
"Well, calm down. It seems you don't have a sense of humor. I would never do something against someone here. After all, it was thanks to them that I managed to get out." Universe 2. Sour, the angel of the Universe 2, saw that his universe was still intact even during the Celestial War. The same is questioned by his goddess of destruction. The Universe 2 goddess of destruction says,
"Won't you want to help your brothers in this battle? They fought in the first Celestial War to save everyone. You know you owe them, don't you? It's not just because your universe is intact that you can pretend that nothing is happening. Your relationship with your sister Makarita used to be better. You didn't even try to find out how she was doing."
Sour keeps his face straight. Darius looks at Sour's body and notices that his hands are covered in blood. Scared, Addis says,
"It is not possible. He is like this because he's fulfilling the rule of the angels."
Previous flashback. Since the beginning of the Celestial Wars, all angels were taught by the Great that they could only engage in battles against the mortals and against the Celestials when the Great Priest authorized it. But for some reason, the steps of the Great Priest are totally different from what everyone imagined. While the universes were torn apart, other universes remained intact as well as Universe 2. Sour questioned himself again what was going on. Back to current times. Sour starts talking.
"I can't understand why things are happening this way. Vados and Whis broke the rules fighting in the Celestial War. But so far, the Great Priest has not taken any action. Few universes are being affected, but many deaths have already occurred. If I get involved, they may end up attacking Universe 2 as well. But if I don't do anything, my brothers could end up dying without even being able to do anything to save them." "You mean that's what you want, Daishi-kun? Do you want to prevent the other universe from getting involved in these battles? Are you kidding us? Are you kidding me? This cannot be called the Celestial War."
Empty Dimension. The Empty Dimension is an unknown place that, according to the rumors, only Supreme Mages can create portals to this dimension. Despite its name, the Void Dimension is a passage between life and death. Some say it is the middle of it all, perhaps a limbo. Those who have their souls lost appear to show back their powers and manage to break out of their seals. At that moment, Gon, Zakai, and Makai arrive at an empty dimension. Gon says,
"What is this cold place?"
Zakai responds, "Don't be surprised. This place is practically the center of the existence. Control your ki, otherwise you could end up dying by the blink of an eye here, Gon." Makai speaks,
"Stay calm.
Stay calm. I created a barrier that will be a great help for you not to lose your strength." After hours of wandering in the empty dimension, Makai finally finds the Celestial Gate. Zakai says,
"Finally."
Makai smiles. Then Gon speaks.
"What is that?"
A gigantic gate where there were several sealed keys appears.
"This is fantastic."
Zakai says,
"This is the gate
that would release the entire race of dragons and the god of the Super Dragon Ball Zalama. Gon's time has come. In front of the palace of the High Priestess Sakai, Goku alone in his new transformation fights Zaki and Banzarot. Banzarot already in his last form and Zaki with his unlimited power advances towards Goku.
These two are really much more powerful.
Beerus smiles and speaks. Very well, Goku. Show your full power already. At that moment, a great shudder occurs in the palace. Banzarot says,
So that means they finally started.
At that moment, Vados and Whis were looking for Zakai's location in the High Priestess Palace. Whis says,
Damn, we can't be late or it'll be too late.
Empty dimension. Gon watches and says,
What will we have to do now, Zakai?
Zakai, with a dark look, looks at Gon and says,
Sacrifice.
Gon, with a serious look, answers,
What?
At that moment, Gon's body is paralyzed by Mukai's energy. Gon says,
Damn, Zakai! You said you needed me to wipe the entire Universe 7 warriors!
Zakai responds, But I didn't lie. I need you to sacrifice your body so we can bring Zarama back. Goodbye, dear Gon. A huge cosmic explosion happens in Gon's body. Zakai creates a large ray of light and throws it over the giant gate and says, Welcome back, Supreme God Zarama. Makai laughs. Zaki and Banzarot move forward to attack Goku, but Goku's fury has already reached its limit. Goku says, I have no more time to waste with you! It's over! Goku creates a gigantic dragon attack in his Ultra Order form and pierces Zaki and Banzarot's body. Banzarot says, Impossible! Goku looks at Beerus and Vegeta says, Let's go after Gon, otherwise there will be the end. Everyone had noticed the difference in energy that occurred in the palace of the High Priestess Sakai. Meanwhile, in Universe 2, on the planet of destruction of the goddess Hades, Sour, the angel of the Universe 2, appears and speaks. I've already made my decision. I won't let my brothers die. If they believe that this is a heavenly crime, then let them judge me. It's time for the strongest angel to spring into action. At that moment, a smiling voice arises.
The strongest angel, huh? Don't make me laugh. Just be after your brother.
Mojito appears in front of Sour. Sour smiles and says,
You came too.
So let's decide who's the strongest kicking these guys' asses. Sour and Mojito decide to team up in the Celestial War. Gon had been betrayed by Zakai, but something strange was happening. Gon already had thoughts that Zakai was just using him to get more power in the Celestial War. But still, the third son of Son Goku fell into the traps to the Supreme Priestess. Mage Makai watched everything with a totally sarcastic look. Makai says, Zakai being cunning as always. There wasn't even time for this breath to breathe. Mercilessly as always, isn't it, Zakai? Zakai, with a serious look, says, We didn't have time to deal with this boy. He had enormous potential, but I never felt confidence in him. He was definitely up to something. If even after receiving the kiss of death from Zidus, he could regain consciousness, what would he do? He thought I would believe his words. Now he won't give us any more trouble. At that moment, the great gate that divided the two realms in the empty dimension begins to open and a voice arises. The unknown voice says, It seems that I finally am free. After so many millennia sealed here in this place, I am finally free. Zakai, you haven't changed at all. This dimension remains as cold as ever. The division between life and death is here, so very thin. It seems that the most powerful warriors meet here. Now yes, disperse more powerful creatures. At that moment, several dragons and other dragons begins to leave the gate that had been opened by Makai and Zakai. Makai says, Finally we will be able to conquer all the universe, High Priestess. At that moment, Zakai starts to laugh and quickly teleports behind Makai and hits a big blow with the staff in his heart that crosses his chest. Amazed, Makai speaks. Zakai, why did you do that? Zakai, smiling, says,
You're just scum in this universe. Do you think I didn't know that after Zalama's release you intended to betray me? Don't you dare play with the mother of angels. A big laugh breaks out. Zalama finally appears. With his entire body covered by an age blanket, Zalama says, "How long, Zakai? It seems like yesterday that we fought together against Yamoshi and Daishi-kun." If I'm seeing you here in front of me now, it means that our millennia ago plan worked, doesn't it? Zakai, smiling, responds, "Well done, Zalama-sama. We had some snags. It seems that the time we were sealed, very strong warriors ended up appearing on Earth, and for that reason, we had a lot of headaches. Let's come with me to my palace, and I'll update you to the whole situation." Zakai and Zalama get together and enter again through the portal that would be the exit from the empty dimension and go to the highest floor of the Great Priestess Celestial Palace. The High Priestess Palace, as well as Zeno-sama's palace, is known to be one of the most mysterious places of all. There are legends that say that if a stranger who enters the palace of the Great Priestess and does not know the ways of the palace is trapped in this place until the moment of his death. Right now, most of the Z warriors are looking for Gon and Zakai. Zakai and Zalama arrive at the palace of the High Priestess. Zalama says, "I need to get back to my Zakai throne. My energies need to be recovered." Zakai prepared the Zalama throne while explaining the Celestial War and the enemies that appeared. At that moment, Zalama says, "Interesting. So now we have a raid right on this palace." Enemies must be strong to have been able to fight the Ultimate Saiyans, isn't it? Zakai responds, "As I said, there are some warriors who have been giving us problems, but this will no longer be an unforeseen event." Zalama observes and says, "I wouldn't say that. Looks like we already have visitors." Zakai sees through his vision of the future the image of Goku, Vegeta, and Beerus advancing through his palace. Zakai says, "Curses! What did you do with Banzarot and Zaki? I will not forgive them." Zalama seriously says, "I was referring to these two monstrous energies that are in front of us right here." Zakai gets scared and says, "How's this possible?" At that moment, a female voice appears. "I can't believe I thought we were going to die before I managed to find these two. If it wasn't for you, we'd be in trouble, brother. It seems that you even know this palace." The male voice answers, "Oh, I used to walk in the High Priestess Palace since I was so little, so these labyrinths don't work against me. Let's resolve this situation soon and bring Gon back." At that moment, Vados and Whis arrive face to face with Zakai and Zalama. Whis says, "It can't be. There are two presents here. By the angels, it can't be. There were two presents here. I could swear it was Zakai and the wizard Makai, but this guy has a much more destructive energy than Makai's. Don't tell me he is." Vado says, "You damn, what did you do to Gon? I would never forgive them." Zakai says, "Gon is totally destroyed. If I were you, I would never remember him. Well, two angels are here. It will be perfect for me to start testing my powers. Next to me, you two are nothing. Zalama, just watch. The powers of the High Priestess Zakai." Zakai for the first time will fight. Whis and Vados prepared in combat stance. Whis smiling says, "Sister, don't worry. We'll find a way to save Gon. First, let's show these priestesses that the brothers from the universes 6 and 7 are the most powerful." Meanwhile, on Earth, several hordes of demons try to approach the Earth. At that time, a large barrier had been created around the land that prevented the demons from entering it. Broly says, "Looks like the barrier Mr. Whis created is having an effect. It won't last too long. Well, what we have left is to prepare for this fight." All the Z warriors that were on Earth alongside Broly, Frieza, and Cell Max prepare. Cell Max says, "That means we have a warm-up here. It will be a pleasure to eliminate those weak beings that are to come." The Earth again comes into conflict. Universe 6. Champa begins to reflect on everything that is happening.
Since Beerus decided to fight this way, why didn't the Daishika leave the Universe 6 in charge of ending this war? Universe 7 always causes big problems. You bloody Beerus. If you lose this fight, I will never forgive you. At that time in the High Priestess Palace on the north side, Goku advanced alongside Vegeta and Beerus until the moment when a great ray of darkness is launched towards their bodies. Beerus says, I feel the presence of some enemies. Damn it, I thought that Banzarot and Zaki would be the only ones that would stand in our way. At that moment, a great energy of darkness ends up being released on the bodies of the three. Goku starts having his vision blurred, and the image of Beerus and Vegeta disappears from his front. Goku says, Mr. Beerus! Vegeta! Vegeta was finding everything that was happening strange. Vegeta said, What is that? Show up, you moron! A big laugh breaks out. The unknown voice says, Vegeta, Vegeta, it looks like we've finally met again. Vegeta responds, That voice, it's you, you damn angel, Shiva! Shiva, the bloody angel, finally appears again. Vegeta activates his Ultra Ego and says, I knew this was one of his illusions. It won't work on me again. Yamazaki's energy is in my body. Vegeta activates his Ultra Ego. Shiva starts laughing and speaks. Perfect. It means that the Ultra Ego is the ability to be able to fight even the angels. This will be fun. At that instant, Goku says, Damn it, I can't see any of them. Goku dodges quickly when he feels energy being emanated over his body. Goku says, I feel an angelic energy. Yeah, I remember your key on Earth. I feel an angelic energy. Come on out. I remember your key on Earth. At that moment, Kai appears and says, Perfect. Now you will fight the strongest angel, Son Goku. The same angel that captured God will now fight Son Goku. Goku versus Kai, the strongest angel. Vegeta versus Shiva, the bloody angel. Gohan and Piccolo versus Zaico, the ultimate Saiyan. Jiren, Hit, and Caulifla versus Yujiro, the annihilator. Whis and Vados versus Akai, the mother of angels. All these battles will decide the fate of all universes. After Gon was betrayed by Sakai, several changes began to happen in all universes. Due to the collapse of the opening in the Celestial Gate that freed Zalama, center of the universes, palace of Zeno-sama. Zeno and his guards besides Daishikan begin to observe all this. Zeno says, Daishikan, looks like the energy of that white-haired boy who fought Goku on Earth is gone. Zeno-sama's guards just watch. Daishikan with a soft look says, It seems that your majesty is finally happening. Soon the time will come for us to enter the battlefield. Zalama is finally back, and he will certainly plan to bring a horde of dragons back there. But his powers must not be complete, because if they were, he would have already started to act. This could be an advantage for Son Goku and his friends. Daishikan noticed extremely high power light years away from Zeno-sama's palace. Daishikan says, So the fighting has already begun. At that moment, in the palace of the great priestess Sakai, Gohan and Piccolo fought against Zaico, the Supreme Saiyan. Zaico says, You are the son of Son Goku, aren't you? Know that I hate your father just because he managed to escape from me on that planet of death. Since I couldn't see him, I'll finish you off myself here and now. Piccolo says, You're going to fight us both now. I'm tired of guys like you thinking they can do whatever they want. Come on, Gohan. Let's teach this guy a lesson. At that moment, Gohan makes a serious face and says, Mr. Piccolo, please don't get involved in this battle any longer. This guy's mine. Piccolo starts looking at Gohan and tries to understand why Gohan's unusual attitude in wanting to fight Zaico alone. Piccolo begins to observe, and after the laughter, saying, So that's it. The pride of Saiyans. This is a battle of Saiyans. Do your best, Gohan, and don't die. Gohan, the son of Son Goku who had not fought for years, the one who was once considered the prodigy among all and saved the Earth several times. Among his most memorable battles when he fought the android Cell. That boy who had the arrogance fighting the demon Majin Buu, the same one who reached his beast mode from against Cell Max, is now face to face with the Supreme Saiyan God Psycho. The greatest battle is about to begin. Zaico looks coldly at Gohan and says, You will regret being born a brat. Gohan smiles and says, Then come and fight me with everything you've got. Zaico in a blink of an eye appears behind Gohan's back and hangs him, crushing his neck more and more. Gohan says, Damn, how did you get here so fast? Zaico, before being named the Ultimate Saiyan, was known as the Killer Saiyan of Universe 17. The kings of all planets that Zyko wanted to conquer were eliminated by the Supreme Saiyan. Zyko always raised his power to unimaginable levels, and all mortals began to fear the Supreme Saiyan. After years passed and everyone already knew who Zyko was, he became known as the Supreme Saiyan. Gohan, being hanged by Zyko, begins to notice that Zyko's energy resembles Goku's and Gon's energy a lot. Gohan says, "How strange. It can't be." At that moment, Gohan raises his power even more and manages to let go of Zyko, and with great dexterity, hits a punch in his stomach. Gohan says, "Is it possible? Why is this guy energy similar to my father and Gon? That doesn't make any sense. Did he come from Universe 17? If I'm not mistaken, Gon is my father's son from another timeline." While Gohan tried to reason, Zyko advanced to attack him. Zyko says, "You really are strong, boy. It's getting interesting to fight you. It will be a pleasure to break all of your bones." Gohan stops Zyko's fist and says, "I don't have time for games." At that moment, Gohan activates his beast mode form, and Zyko is impressed with the power emanated by Gohan. Gohan starts throwing several blows at Zyko and says, "This is your end! Special Beam Cannon!" Zyko gets scared and speaks, "What? Impossible!" A gigantic special beam cannon is cast on Zyko, causing the Ultimate Saiyan to be thrown into the rubble of the palace. Gohan says, "You're finished." Piccolo just watches. A great ray of light with darkness begin to emerge. Gohan says, "What? It's not possible. It's the same energy as the time of the Makai realm." Flashback of Gohan, Piccolo, and Cell Max in the Makai realm. Gohan and Piccolo being guided by Cell Max in the Makai realm, they fought against several demons to get to the king of the Makai realm. Until the moment when arriving in the Makai palace, Gohan sees the king of the Makai kingdom murdered. Gohan says, "What the hell happened here?" Gohan sees Gon and Zaidos. Cell Max says, "Oh, what do we have here if it's not a similar boy to Son Goku? What an incredible power that is." Zaidos watches and says, "Looks like we have a visitor here, and it isn't Gon." Gohan charges forwards to attack Gon. Gon says, "Do you think you can beat me, Gohan? Who knew that days ago we were on the same side in this war, and now we are on opposite sides?" "Gon, what the hell are you doing next to that angel?" Gohan creates a big Kamehameha, and Gon creates a big blast of energy that collide. Gon teleports and releases a portal in the Makai realm where the wizard Makai comes out all changed. Zaidos says, "So you found the Gon portal." Gon responds, "We already have what we needed. Let's take Makai to the High Priestess. You want this, don't you?" Gon appears with a pot of Majin essence in his hand and throws it to Gohan. Gon enters the portal with Zaidos and Makai. Gohan says, "What the hell happened here?" Piccolo says, "It doesn't matter, Gohan. Let's get the heck out of here." Back to the present. Gohan, after noticing Gon's energy resemblance to Zyko, Gohan sees Zyko regaining his energy. Zyko appears and says, "Now you've managed to piss me off, you damn brat." Gohan starts to smile and says, "So that's it. I discovered his secret. Zyko, the Supreme Saiyan. You're actually son of Goku from another timeline. That's why you hate the Saiyans of this timeline so much." Piccolo is impressed and says, "What? How is this possible?" Zyko answers, "How did you figure that out? All by yourself?" Gohan says, "In fact, you're the essence of Gon from another timeline. This way your energy is linked with Gon's. Well, I don't have any more time to waste with you any longer." At that moment, Gohan activates his Beast Mode 2 form, and Zyko activates his ultimate level. Zyko advances towards Gohan and says, "Let's decide who is the strongest Saiyan." At that moment, Gohan in his second beast form runs in front of Zyko, and the two begin to exchange punches. Gohan stands still when he receives a punch from Zyko. Zyko says, "What? Why didn't you dodge?" Gohan, smiling, says, "It seems that my power has increased exponentially. More so you didn't even notice." At that moment, Gohan's straight arm had pierced Zyko's chest and Zyko hadn't noticed. Zyko says, "Impossible!"
Zyko is eliminated, but for some reason his target advances directly to the empty dimension where Gon's body was. Gohan says,
Mr. Piccolo, I feel like something strange is about to happen. Let's get out of here!
A great shaking in the palace of the High Priestess Sakai occurs. Goku grew his ki more and more. Kai, the strongest angel, says,
So you're the famous son Goku. I'm happy to have found you, but at the same time, I'm sad.
Goku watches and says, What a strange guy. What are you talking about? Sad? Afraid of being humiliated by a mortal? Kai responds,
I am happy that I can put an end to you now, and saddened that you're moving mountains to save your third son Gon, and you still can't get past me.
Goku begins to get furious and the entire palace of the High Priestess begins to shake. The Saiyan's muscle mass begins to increase, causing his muscles to grow in a similar way to Broly and then return to normal. Goku, with a serious face, responds,
Strongest angel.
Your powers are nothing compared to Mr. Whis. Goku teleports and hits Kai's belly with a big punch. Kai falls, kneels on the ground and says, What was this? Goku walks in front of Kai and says, My training in the room of the gods was done precisely to finish off weaklings like you. Get out of my way if you don't want to have the same end as Banzarot and Zaki. Kai, lying on the ground, says,
No, that's impossible. How did you hit me? Damn it, it hurts so much.
What an incredible power! Goku was confident that Kai would not be able to stand up until the moment Kai says,
It cannot be.
Just kidding.
Too weak.
Kai teleports in front of Goku, activating his ultra-angelic instinct and grabbed Goku's head, dragging him to the ground and throwing him away. Kai, with a totally serious face, looks at Goku and says, Quit kidding yourself too, and let's get started. Big explosion happened on the battlefield, starts to get more and more intense. Big stars appear. Whis and Vados had been having their battle against Zakai. Whis, with great dexterity and mastery, dodged all of Zakai's attacks. Zakai says, Oh, interesting, Whis. You managed to dodge my attacks. You don't even look like the same angel who had been defeated by Zeno at the beginning of the war. It looks like you've learned to defend yourself against the energy that seals the power of the angels. At that moment, Zalama just watches the battle and says in his mind, 2 angels against Zakai. The mother of angels really is cheeky, although we shouldn't worry since the mother of the angels has the power equal to the power of the Daishikan. So those lesser angels won't be a problem for you, won't it, Zakai? At that moment, Zalama and Zakai are impressed. A great light appears over Whis' body. Whis begins to raise his power.
Me being defeated by Zell.
Flashback of the planet Beerus at the start of the Celestial War. Beerus says, Whis, you can tell that they're very close from here, can't you? I'm sure he'll be able to come after us. If we show our real powers, the enemy will have an advantage over everything. Maybe it would be better for us to let ourselves be defeated by them, and that way we'd gain time and we'd know the enemy's weakness. Whis responds,
Mr. Beerus, that's pretty bold, don't you think? A demon of the race of cold will think that he alone can defeat an angel and a cat of destruction.
That would be a shame, Whis. However, we are in a heavy threat. If the mother of the angels and all of the cats of destruction think that we have not strengthened our forces within this last millennium, it would be our greatest advantage on the battlefield. Whis starts to smile and says,
Well done, Sir Beerus.
After Beerus and Whis come to an agreement, the two are purposely defeated by Zeno. Now all of this has turned out to be a trap by the angel and god of destruction of Universe 7. Whis smiles. Back to current times. Zalama and Zakai are surprised by the power that Whis is showing. Vado says,
It seems that my brother decided to fight seriously from the beginning. Now I understand. Being humiliated by a cold demon, even on purpose, causes Whis' reputation and honor as an angel to be hurt. So now, from the beginning, he goes with everything. Zakai, if I were you, I would prepare myself to know the power of the strongest angel.
A big explosion happens. Zakai says, What? It cannot be. Zalama starts to smile. See, Zakai, don't hit me. He's afraid of the power of the wrath of one of his children. Zakai responds, "It's none of that, Salama. It's just that right now I'm just completely gone from all the Zyko's energy." Vado starts to smile and says,
They have already started to act. Now get ready, that the next one will be you, Zakai.
Zakai angrily says, "Damn you bastards!" North side of the High Priestess's palace. After Gohan defeated Zyko, Gohan continues with a serious expression. Piccolo says, "Why are you like this, Gohan? You finally defeated the enemy and that Saiyan was very strong. Surely you have already mastered your new transformation by 100%. Gohan says,
It's not that, Mr. Piccolo, but I feel he wasn't alone. I still feel an evil presence here.
Piccolo says, "What are you talking about, Gohan? He's lying on the ground in front of us."
Gohan looks at Piccolo with a serious expression and goes into a big Kamehameha. Startled, Piccolo says,
"What the hell are you doing, Gohan?"
Gohan deflects his attack from Piccolo and directly hits a pilaster that is behind in the palace of the High Priestess. A big laugh starts to emerge.
Were you actually able to defeat Zyko? Something that not even Son Goku had been able to do. Who knew the Supreme Saiyan God from another timeline would be defeated? You figured it all out. This really is amazing. At that moment, Piccolo says, "Who are you? Show up!" In the blink of an eye, a great light is brought by Zyko's body and Zyko's body disappears. Gohan asks,
What have you done, you bastard?
The unknown voice says, "Since Zyko and Gohan are the same person from another timeline, their bodies need to become one. The two will meet soon, and the true being will be born. I've been all this time looking at everything that was happening within this war, and it seemed incredible. Now it seems that our plan is working, isn't it, Zaidos?" Gohan and Piccolo are startled to hear Zaidos' name. Gohan says,
Zaidos, isn't that the angel who was with Gohan in the Makai kingdom, Mr. Piccolo? That voice is saying that they are plotting something behind even the mother of angels.
A female laugh erupts.
Incredible! You really are incredible! Fantastic, Azazel!
The unknown present has always walked beside Zaidos finally has his name and appearance revealed. With gigantic armor, strong appearance and horns, Azazel is revealed to be the unknown presence. Gohan says,
Damn it! For that we didn't expect, Mr. Piccolo. The Supreme Saiyan being used by them is the same way that Gon was used by Sakai.
Piccolo says, "Gohan, now this battle is not about a Saiyan battle, but a battle between gods. Who is this guy? His power is totally different from any power I've seen before."
Gohan seriously responds, No matter who it is, we came here with this science, Mr. Piccolo, not science, conscience. No matter who it is, we came here with this conscience, Mr. Piccolo. We will defeat them.
In the blink of an eye, Zaidos appears in front of Gohan and hits him with a kiss of death. Piccolo says, "What? How you got here so fast?"
Gohan receives the kiss of death from Zaidos. Zaidos says, One down, Azazel. Now we just have to finish off the Namekuseigen.
Gohan has received the kiss of death from Zaidos. Up until now, Zaidos' angel's technique kiss of death is that after Zaidos kisses the enemy, they are mind-controlled, the same as Gon and Goku received. Piccolo says, "Damn it, Gohan, what's happening to you?" Azazel, standing still, says, "Very well, Zaidos. It seems to be getting stronger." Piccolo watches and says, "But who is this guy? He doesn't look like a god of destruction and his power is totally different. For sure he's not even preparing to fight. An angel obeying another entity." At that moment, Gohan was with his eyes open but totally unconscious. Piccolo screams, "Come on, Gohan! React!" Zaidos, smiling, says, "That's impossible, Namekian warrior. This boy is no longer here over us. This time we don't have time to deal with you. I will erase his entire existence from the inside out." What are you talking about? The kiss of death technique has several variables. In the same way that I can control the enemy's mentality, I can also poison or destroy all the warrior's bones. Zaidos screams, "Association with the kiss of death! Internal destruction! Now my poison will be repelled in that Saiyan's body and his body will be totally destroyed." Piccolo says, "This cannot happen." At the same time that Piccolo is worried, the Namekian being starts to laugh.
Azazel watches and says, "What is this guy laughing at? Gohan has received the kiss of death from Zaidos." Zaidos says, "He's desperate with the death of his student, and that's why he's like this." At that moment, a great aura begins to appear over Gohan's body, and the image of all his cells appears in front of Zaidos. "What is that? Impossible! What are you talking about, Zaidos? It's like his cells are healing on their own, much faster than the kiss of death poison."
Well done, Gohan. Just in time.
Gohan regains consciousness and says, "That was a close one, Mr. Piccolo." Zaidos and Azazel don't understand what happened. But what was this? Gohan starts to remember his battle against Lavender in the presentation with Zeno-sama. Lavender was exchanging punches with Gohan. As strong as Gohan was, his body suffered from receiving the poison. Since the fight, Gohan and Goku began to train to protect themselves with their Saiyan energies. Since then, poisons don't work on Gohan's body. Impressed, Zaidos says, "But how did you manage to escape the kiss of death?" Gohan starts smiling and says, "It's because I'm a Saiyan hybrid, so I have both Saiyan and human mentalities, so your technique will never have an effect on me." Zaidos starts to smile and says, "I see. So my kiss of death technique is useless against these Saiyans. First it was Goku, then Gohan, and now you." At that moment, Zaidos rages and the whole palace starts to shake. Gohan and Piccolo get serious. Zaidos says, "If spell techniques don't work, now we will solve it in brute force." Zaidos prepares in battle stance. Gohan and Piccolo speak together. It's about time! Planet Earth. Several dragons begin to appear on the Earth of all universes. The warriors of the other universes that were on Earth had received the order of Broly to return to their universes due to the invasion having increased. Kaba and Kale alongside the others head back to their universes. Kaba says, "Khalifa-san, it's going to be okay." Kale looks at Broly and says, "Broly, don't die." Broly smiles. At that moment, several dragons appeared in front of Broly, Black Frieza, and Cell Max. Black Frieza says,
This is getting more interesting than ever. So it means that Son Goku and the others couldn't stop the dragons from releasing the portal, and they're going to destroy the Earth. It would be so beautiful to see Goku and Vegeta's planet destroyed by these beings.
At that moment, a ray of light is released on Frieza. Frieza says,
Who dares to attack the Emperor of the Universe? Show up, Blackie, and I'll eliminate you myself.
A great laugh arises, and the place of the land that Black Frieza is on begins to darken and disperses from Broly and Cell Max. Emperor of the Universe. So that's the name you call yourself. Oh, you grew, Frieza. But we should have that name together. Black Frieza changes his composure and says,
It's not possible. That voice, Cooler, it's you.
Frieza's brother, Cooler, appears from the smoke that has cleared. He says, "Exactly, my brother. Thanks to the Mother of Angels, I am back. The portal of the Kingdom of Dragons was released and the Supreme Dragon granted me his powers. Now I have the necessary power to dominate all these planets in this universe. Come with me and let's destroy it all." At that moment, Black Frieza is silent. Broly says, "Where is that damn Frieza? It can't stay like this." At that instant, Black Frieza throws a great blast of energy on his brother, causing the entire location to be destroyed, launching several dragons to the mountains of the earth. Cooler says, "What are you doing, brother?" Frieza laughing says,
Brother, I am not your brother. I don't have a family. Since I was a little kid, I had to learn to get by on my own. And I became the Emperor of the Universe all on my own, with my own army. I never needed you for anything. I have no intentions of sharing a job with you, the same title. The price and demand for power is great, and my only right was to disown anyone who claimed to be close to me and was not. For now, my goals are different.
And your end will now be...
So there's no way, as I should always have guessed that about you. Cooler starts to rage and causing the earth to start to shake with increase of his ki. At that moment, Cooler turns into Black Cooler. Frieza is startled and says,
But how did you manage to achieve this transformation?
Cooler lunges at Frieza. A great battle ensues. Meanwhile, on the south side of the nearby mountain, Paozu, Goten, and Trunks brought Bulma and Chi-Chi along with several adults and children to hide in a mountain cave in order to avoid being attacked. Goten says,
Trunks, it seems that the invasion of our parents didn't work out very well. Now our universes are being attacked again.
Trunks responds,
Something must have happened that they didn't expect, Goten. I'm sure it could have something to do with the half-brother of yours. But we don't have time to waste. Let's get out of here and help in the battle. The Earth is being invaded.
At that moment, Chi-Chi screams arises.
Help, Goten!
A big demon dragon is holding Chi-Chi and says, Now it's your end, mediocre mortal. Bulma, scared to death, says,
Release her, you filth!
Bulma is attacked and falls to the ground. Chi-Chi says,
We've come this far and now we're going to be killed. Goku, where are you?
The moment Chi-Chi was going to be attacked, the demon dragon receives a double kick to his face by Goten and Trunks. Trunks goes to Bulma and says,
Mom, are you okay?
Bulma responds,
It's okay, my son. Take care of this guy.
Goten says,
Whenever danger lurks, I will fight for justice.
Trunks says,
You look like your brother when you dress up as Great Saiyan, Goten.
The dragon demon appears in front of Goten and Trunks and says, That kick didn't even tickle. Let's see what we have here. Dinner time. Goten and Trunks speak.
What? Not even a scar?
Goten and Trunks charge at the dragon demon. The dragon demon dodges with great ease and says, Do you think these attacks will work on me? I only got the first attack from you because I was so excited to feed off of all these humans' energy. But I must admit that you are two very powerful boys. So let me tell you my name. I am Rising, the 6th demon dragon general of Salama. As Rising laughs, he realizes that Goten and Trunks don't really care what he was talking about. Goten says to Trunks,
Dragon demon? Why does he have that name if his body looks like a human?
Trunks responds,
I also don't understand. Is he like that because he can turn into a dragon or a demon or something? Stop laughing, Goten, otherwise I'll laugh too.
Goten and Trunks can't stop laughing. Ryzen says, What are you funny so funny? Are you making fun of me? Goten and Trunks stop and get scared. At that moment, Ryzen with its monstrous energy advances directly towards Goten and Trunks and starts to make a strange movement with his arms and says, Secret technique of dragons. Secret technique of dragons. Dark dragons roar! At that moment, a gigantic attack featuring a dark dragon flies straight at Goten and Trunks. Trunks says,
Oh no, Goten! If this hits us, we're screwed!
Goten says,
Trunks, if we escape this attack, he might hit the kids!
A huge explosion happens and Goten and Trunks take the full blow. Serious Ryzen says, This is for you warps to learn never to laugh at me. In the middle of a big smoke, Goten's voice comes up.
Trunks, it seems we underestimated the enemy too much.
Trunks responds,
As always, Goten, but this time, we need to solve this all by ourselves. We don't have our fathers, much less your brothers, to save us.
Then Trunks transforms into Super Saiyan Rage. Goten says,
Trunks, what an amazing transformation! I will not fall behind.
Goten transforms into a Super Saiyan 2, but something different happened in his transformation, that his body was with different forms of lightning. Trunks says,
What is this, Goten?
Goten responds,
I don't know, Trunks, but it feels like a Saiyan change in my body. Let's get this guy over with.
Clapping sounds come. Ryzen says, Perfect. Let's see if those two brats can get even stronger. From now on, the show will begin. While on the mountain Pozu, Goten and Trunks push their limits. In the central location of the planet Earth, Black Frieza and his battle against Black Cooler. Frieza laughs.
Damn it, brother. You mean those God managed to make you that strong?
Cooler, with a sarcastic look, looks at Frieza and says, Not my dear little brother. The only thing they did was release my latent powers that had been trapped inside of me for a long time. Now you will know the true strength of King Cold's strongest son. Black Frieza smiles.
Don't make me laugh.
Frieza creates a large blast of energy and launches it at Cooler. Cooler blocks Frieza's attack with one hand and it disintegrates the energy blast. Black Frieza says,
What? Impossible!
Cooler advances at Frieza and hits a punch in his face, sending him to the mountains of the place. Krillin, Yamcha, and Tien in another location of Earth had been fighting several servants of dragons. Just an observation, the power levels of dragon servants are similar to those of Frieza's soldiers. Krillin says,
Damn, there are many!
Tien says, we can't stay behind. Goku, Gohan, and the others are giving their lives to save all universes. We won't let these guys win. Yamcha attacks all dragons with a spirit ball attack. Yamcha says, I won't let any of you stand out against me. Your end is now. While everyone was fighting, a big gust of energy appears, eliminating all the dragons that were there. Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha get scared. Krillin says, What is this? An angry voice arises.
How can you be so weak? My army being defeated by mediocre mortals. You're not worthy to be part of my army.
At that moment, another being appears and says,
Scum. Hello there. Let me introduce myself. I am Shaki the Rain Dragon Demon.
Tien speaks. Krillin, Yamcha, be careful. This guy is far from an enemy similar to those servants we were facing before. Mortals versus Shaki the Rain Dragon Demon. Meanwhile, on Paozu Mountain, Goten and Trunks were lying on the ground. Ryzen says, Those transformations of yours were of no use. You're still extremely weak brats. The time has come for the final attack. Trunks, lying on the ground, says,
Hey, Goten, looks like we're screwed, right? Right? This guy's 100 times stronger than Majin Buu. We don't stand a chance.
Goten says,
It's true, Trunks, but if we don't do anything, our mothers and everyone else here will end up dying too. I almost don't have any strength left to fight. But you know, my brother is a hero, and he always told me we should overcome our pain and rise up.
Trunks responds,
You're right, Goten. I think it's time we push our limits and kick this guy's ass.
Ryzen prepares himself for his final attack and says, Final Dragon's Roar! The gigantic dragon advances to hit Goten and Trunks. The two Saiyans stand up and seriously hold off the dragon's attack by burning their own hands. Goten and Trunks scream.
Ah!
Trunks says,
Let's not let this guy invade our planet and think he can do anything he wants, Goten!
Goten and Trunks launch Ryzen's attack into the sky.
Ah!
Ryzen says, What?
Kame! Final Flash!
Ryzen receives the full attack from the two. Goten and Trunks says,
We got him!
A great laugh arises and speaks. You've really hurt me now, you damn brats. Now you will pay me for everything you've done. Goten starts laughing and soon after Trunks starts laughing too.
What is it, Goten? I don't know how to explain this. It's just that it seems that my Saiyan instinct is making me excited about this fight, Trunks. This is happening to me too, Goten. Alright, it's time for the final card.
Back to the battle of mortals against Shaki. Krillin and the others were lying on the floor. Shaki says,
You are literally the biggest scum that could exist. As my servants were defeated by you, as soon as Alama returns, I will recruit a new army.
Disgusting!
Shaki aims a large blast of energy at Krillin, Tien, and Yamcha. Krillin says,
Damn it.
So that's it.
It's over. Goku, please. I believe you will save the Earth. I just won't be here to see it.
Krillin closes his eyes, accepting death.
The energy blast is released. Krillin continued with his eyes closed, and it is strange that the blast of energy did not hit his body. When Krillin opened his eyes, he sees a gigantic being in front of him. Krillin says, "Huh? What is this? Who are you? Can only be a mirage. Am I dead?" Sharky laughs and says, "Let's see. If we don't have a visitor." "Who are you?" The mightiest warrior appears and says, "Don't mess with them. If they're Goku's friends, they're my friends. I am Broly, the Saiyan of the Universe 7, and the end of your life is now!" To be continued. Hey, so what do you think is going to happen next? Regardless of what it is more than important that you already expose it here in your comments so that we can enter into that crazy debate. Click the like button, subscribe here to the channel so you don't miss any videos. And that's it for today. I'll see you in the next one. Goodbye.